The Crystal Dragon Palace's treasure banquet was Liangshan Continent's grand banquet, and because this banquet was absolutely safe, the majority of the star maidens in the star duels would attend to increase their strength before the start of the last phase, 3 heavenly books. But these 9-star duels had displayed millennial changes. The prehistoric Liao Emperor's Tai spherical heaven form array had become the nightmare of star generals. As far as these star generals without contracts, these loners, were concerned, this was unimaginable disaster. Yueying was one of them. The young girl knit her smoky brows, watching the scene in front of her, her expression as unflustered as ever, even if she was already targeted by the White Tiger Territory's demonkin. A fervent smile hung upon Miss Chili's lips, and his expression was wild and hungry as he stared at the woman in front of him. The young woman's garb was truly beautiful to the extreme. Wispy attire, a short cloak, and an upper garment that was like 2 lotus leaves half covered her snow-white breasts. Her deep cleavage was especially visible, and a resplendent piece of colored glass hung in the middle. Her lower body was dressed in a 100-pleat short skirt, and her white legs were wrapped in black thigh-high stockings, with her snow-white skin faintly visible underneath the black silk, full of allure. Finish off with a pair of multicolored boots, and the girl's whole appearance sparkled, very bewitching. Although he did not know which star general this girl was, to be able to be so beautiful with such boldness, Miss Chili had no doubt that if she consumed her star energy, his own star energy would inevitably skyrocket. What a pity, beautiful girl, that Chili does not have the twin stars button. Otherwise, I would have truly wanted to seize the chance to take you. Miss Chili clicked his tongue, his eyes turning craftily, debating to himself whether or not to call that snow woman Han Bing to take her. This train of thought was disdainfully dismissed. Who was he kidding? In the future, when they scaled Maiden Mountain, they would still be in a you die, I live situation. To give her another powerful star general, this truly was the act of someone who did not know how to write the word death. Miss Chili took out an amulet. He raised it into the air, and it transformed into 5 flaming serpents, each chasing after another's tail. They released firelight, bearing their snake fangs. They bit at Yueying with visible venom on their fangs. This 5 snakes burning fire token was Miss Chili's life-cast magic weapon. Its power was not to be looked down upon. To be rolled by the 5 snakes, even if your cultivation was high, you would be smithereens, especially now when Yueying was already without any strength. Multicolored light rolled, and a peacock with its tail fanned out appeared out of thin air. Its feathers were like fans, releasing multicolored rainbow lights that stopped the 5 serpents. Star Beast! Miss Chili was taken aback. Luo Xia go! Yueying coldly said. The red peacock that was like a multicolored flash screeched. It radiated multicolored light, and those dots that looked like eyes on its feathers opened one by one. Each and every one of them fired jewel-like light. Miss Chili sneered. Similarly, when his star general saw her contractor in danger, she also summoned her star beast. A gigantic alligator-like star beast completely covered in red scales appeared. This beast's name was Sudden Thunder, swift as a clap of thunder. Its jaw could open wide enough to swallow anything whole. Sudden Thunder pounced towards the peacock. Nevertheless, Yueying's star beast was formidable. Its crest released multicolored light that easily obstructed Sudden Thunder. Then, the torrential light squeezed Sudden Thunder into screeching. This seemingly exceptionally fierce star beast was killed by the multicolored light in a matter of seconds. Eat my flame Emperor Whip! Miss Chili formed hand seals and used an ability. The crackling whip whistled. The multicolored light continued to sweep, and Miss Chili proceeded to form several hand seals. The whip struck with earth-shattering power. The red peacock unleashed powerful multicolored light that stopped the whip. Miss Chili used another ability. His figure moved, and his body transformed into the shape of a fire serpent that suddenly lunged. The multicolored light was unable to stop Miss Chili's full power attack. It persisted for a moment before it immediately shattered. Losing the protection of the multicolored light, Luo Xia thus lost its greatest asset. Miss Chili flicked out his snake tongue. He grabbed Luo Xia and tore it apart. Then his other hand plunged towards Yuang's head with powerful fire spirit magic energy. The Yuang who was trapped by the Tai spherical heaven form array had no way to run, but she faced this inevitably deadly palm with no fear, as if life or death mattered not to her. Just as Yuang was about to starfall, suddenly a dragon's figure flew over. That dragon shadow wrapped around Yuang's whole body and stopped all of Miss Chili's attacks. Then, the dragon cried, and a black drill attacked, like a pitch-black dragon rolling. When Miss Chili saw this magic weapon was out of the ordinary, he did not dare be careless. He activated his powers to ward it away and retreat. "Little sister, are you well?" A voice as gentle as jade ranged in Yuang's ears. The slightly puzzled Yuang looked to the voice. A woman as beautiful as a poem walked daintily over. She had a face like a lotus, with long shapely brows, eyes like twinkling stars, as if she walked out of a painting, a subtle fragrance upon her. The woman's pure white forehead had a green star crest, but it was somewhat odd that she could not distinguish if this woman was a star general or a star master. However, upon seeing her, Yuang nevertheless felt a very familiar feeling. This feeling could only be possessed by the sisters of Maiden Mountain's 108 star maidens. Star General? Even the aloof Yuang could not help but be startled. In the Tai spherical heaven form array, even the powerful pilgrim Wusong would find it difficult to take a single step, but the woman in front of her showed completely no effect despite standing in the array. "Who are you?" Yuang's tone sunk, and she filled with hostility. This woman was none other than Qingxi. Song Qingxi's hand held the Justice on Heaven's Behalf Uprising Gathering banner with ease inside the array. She slightly smiled. "Little sister, I trust you have been well since last we met. Elder sister merely wants to help little sister." Saying this, Song Qingxi turned. Miss Chili used 1,000 snakes leaving cave, and 1,000 fire serpents emerged like smoke, wrapping around Qingxi's Yazi saber. Leader Star Song Qingxi did not give him any breathing room. She pointed her white hand. Her clothes fluttered, and her hair shifted. Her whole body glowed with multicolored light, displaying around her 7 differently shaped magic weapons. The 9 dragons seal had emerged. The fish dragon pot flew out, looping in the air. It suddenly increased in size, and the gorgeous and exquisite fish dragon pot let out a cloud of clear light. The fish dragon pot could suck in the 5 magics and 5 spirits. Miss Chili's fire serpent ability just happened to be categorized as a fire spirit. It was unable to resist for long before being sucked into the pot. Miss Chili's complexion changed. He hastily released the 5 serpents burning fire token. The 5 fire serpents swelled in size and were much fiercer than before. Qingxi once again beckoned with her hand. The Pu Lao Bell and the Bai Shi seal of the 9 dragons' magic weapon attacked. The former released cacophonic ringing that disturbed Miss Chili's thoughts, while the latter pressed down like an enormous mountain. 9 dragons seal. Miss Chili shouted. This magic weapon was classified as an absolute in Liangshan. Legend said that it had developed out of the 3 heavenly books. How could Miss Chili manage against this? The Yazi saber's saber light ground Miss Chili into a very sorry figure. 3 purple star magic weapons, Miss Chili could not last against this. His cheeks were flush with anger. He never thought that such a powerful star master would unexpectedly come here. Gazing at Qingxi's picturesque beauty, his body shuddered with fury. Red light swelled, and a giant flaming python charged out of the flames. His eyes were like copper, his fangs very sharp. He unexpectedly manifested his true body. Qingxi's expression wore a slight smile. The 4th purple star magic weapon Swan and Eye image immediately moved. The Swan and Eye divine lion on the sculpture immediately grew 100-fold in size. Its lion roar was a roll of thunder, bearing a suffocating astral wind. It bit its way towards Miss Chili forcefully. Miss Chili saw that things bode ill for him and thus released fierce flames before turning around and retreating. Seeing his sorry figure scuttle away, Qingxi remained unmoved, as if this was not worth a mention. Her gentle gaze completely focused on Yuang. Now that the situation is on the brink of crisis, the sisters must unite. "Little sister, are you willing to ascend Maiden Mountain with Qingxi's uprising?" Uprising Yuang's brow wrinkled. She stared straight at Qingxi's complexion and suddenly recalled something. She was immediately shocked. Impossible. Could you be leader Star Song Jiang? Qingxi nodded. Impossible. How could such a thing happen? Do not deceive me. Yueying sneered. It is a long story. After little sister uprises with Qingxi, there will naturally be an explanation. As for the danger before us, Qingxi asks little sister join the uprising. This heavenly star birth banner can protect little sister's safety. Qingxi shook her head, warmly advising. And if I refuse? Yueying countered. Qingxi smiled. Whatever apprehensions little sister may have, Qingxi naturally will explain. Neither will Qingxi force you. In the future star duels, Qingxi naturally stands with the sisters. Qingxi gazed at Mish Chili forming hand seals. Several of the 9 dragons' magic weapons attacked even more fiercely. Yueying noticed that the prostrate snake ruler had no intentions of leaving. Yueying looked and discovered that the Qingxi in front of her who called herself an elder sister was indeed full of familiarity. Her words were also full of sincerity. If she had attempted to do so, then killing her would have been no more difficult than blowing dust away right now. Even if she used her uprising, this did not sound like a bad thing. Qingxi, how many sisters are in your uprising? Yueying asked. There is already Qin Ming, Jin Daijian, Dai Zong, Sun Xan and many other sisters. Qingxi replied. Xinyue? She has joined your uprising? Yueying's eyes narrowed, and she showed a smile. This was also for little sister Xinyue who requested Qingxi to come find you. Can the uprising truly end the star duels? Yueying continued to ask. Is this not precisely the sole wish of US sisters? Qingxi's slight smile made Yueying slightly moved. Good. The girl carefreely looked to the heavens and laughed. Sole wish, well said. Compared to a star master, at least you still make me feel happy, Qingxi. Qingxi pursed her thin lips, a luminous flicker in her eyes. Uprising, it sounds very interesting. Yueying softly grunted. Qingxi smiled. Does little sister acquiesce? Just let me see how your uprising is. Qingxi slightly nodded. She waved the heavenly star birth banner. The banner flowed with resplendent light. A dimness manifested, and then flickering stars, showing the bright light of a starry sky. Beams of light revolved, gathering into a beautiful, graceful star crest that was the exact same as Yueying's. Qingxi waved the heavenly star birth banner at Yueying. A speck of light entered into Yueying's star cest. Within that boundless ocean of consciousness, Yueying suddenly felt a sort of familiar feeling, as if something was calling out to her. Yueying froze and immediately realized what this feeling was. At this moment, so long as she wholeheartedly agreed, it seemed a contract would be reached. I will help you, Qingxi. Yueying proudly raised her chin. Her eyes emitted a lion-like might and spirit. This was a manner and character only a super martial general could possess. Qingxi knew. She was perhaps one step closer to ending the star duels, but this was far from enough. Qingxi subconsciously gazed towards a certain place of the Crystal Dragon Palace. Past the pervasive lights, the obscuring smoke and omnipresent domineering auras, she saw the steadfast loyalty of sisters trapped in the array, not conceding defeat at all. Those earnest expressions made Qingxi moved. But Qingxi knew those sisters belonged to neither her nor him. Qingxi's heart slightly sighed. The Crystal Dragon Palace was under a bloody carnage all around. Star Masters were currently waging a war, however, there were nevertheless many Supervoid cultivators spectating from afar. It was excusable for these Supervoid cultivators to be unable to interfere in the battle between 4 top-notch cultivators involving Northern Darkness as Fish and Emperor Liang, but against the White Tiger Territory 7 spirits, they had an attitude of watching the world burn. Worried about the White Tiger 7 spirits' Star Master status, these Supervoid cultivators did not take action, so as to avoid breaking the Star Duel's rules. Other than someone like Shurjio Ing whose fury was unrestrained as he conducted an open slaughter, the majority of cultivators stayed a distance away, calmly watching this rarely seen sight in 1,000 years of Star Duels. Yet one Supervoid cultivator did not have such thoughts. A girl wearing a dark purple skirt and stepping with spry and graceful steps appeared. The gazes of the cultivators that were originally watching the other Star Master battles could not help but have their gazes drawn over. Upon seeing her, their originally calm expressions became astonished one after another. What? A Super Void Stage Star Master? Could she be the Ling Yen Princess? Are you blind? To not even recognize the Ling Yen Princess, do you not see that she is wearing the Purple Firmament Immortal Palace's rainbow raiment? The Purple Firmament Immortal Palace's Star Master is surprisingly Super Void Stage. The corner of Fox of Voracious Admiration Humi's hung a seemingly vague charm. Originally, she had wanted to reveal her identity after the 3 heavenly books. It was a pity that she did not calculate that the Tai spherical heaven form array would appear. Even if she was unwilling, her star crest was prominently displayed within the array. Humi had originally wanted to star duel once with the Ling Yen Princess Zhao Hanyen, who was acclaimed as the Azure Dragon Territory's #1 Star Master. Humi's divine intent swept through, not finding her, leaving Humi feeling quite disappointed. Seeing that the other Star Masters were battling the White Tiger 7 spirits, Humi was loath to interfere. She had a personality like Su Jingshu's. Only someone who was strong could stir her interest. Her gaze indifferently swept about when Humi's eyes lit up. She had found her opponent, Li Taisui. Li Taisui was currently sitting upright on a prayer mat in meditation. The murderous auras that pervaded his surroundings became gentle breezes when they drew near him. He was tranquil to the peak, someone unfathomable. His old man's forehead similarly twinkled with a star crest, faintly changing. An aged Star Master drew the curiosity of many cultivators. Several reckless cultivators vainly attempted to seek a bit of success. However, before they even drew close, divine thunder fell from the heavens that utterly destroyed them. After this, the other cultivators did not dare approach. Beside the old man similarly sat a lightly made-up woman. She wore a large white robe, with her bangs freely hanging. Her slightly closed eyes made for a contemplative expression. Suddenly, an enormous boom from the sky interrupted Li Taisui and Yang Zijin's thoughts. A massive seal flew towards them, as giant as the 5 sacred mountains. Upon the seal, a black turtle, dragon, and snake soared about. Clear light was released, and its power pressed towards Li Taisui. Even a super void cultivator was unable to contend against the black turtle's seal directly. Li Taisui opened his eyes, and he furrowed his brows. He gently waved his left hand, and a paper fan appeared. He fanned it, and several bolts of thunder flew out of the fan. Along the way, they became several fanged and clawed thunder dragons. The black turtle seal and the thunder dragons clashed, producing a gigantic explosion. The black turtle seal in all cases was a supreme-grade prehistoric spirit treasure. It released clear light, and the thunder dragons disintegrated immediately after a mere few seconds. Li Taisui was not flustered as he rocked the fan. Fan shadows linked together, and the fragmented thunderbolts once again gathered into a lightning net that wrapped around the black turtle seal. The thunder was wild, overpowering. The black turtle seal spun in midair, restoring itself to its original form before flying back. Li Taisui narrowed his eyes. The paper fan crackled with arcs of electricity. The old man shook the fan, looking at a young girl without saying a word. Only when Humi drew closer did Yang Zijin finally open her eyes that were even deeper than the starry sky. The black turtle's seal gently landed in Humi's palm. Humi clicked her tongue to herself, covering her gentle smile. Senior presumably is the leader of the White Tiger 7 spirit stars then? An old star master. Humi actually has never seen one before. She was completely unafraid of the old man that concealed his chi aura. The fox of voracious admiration calmly showed her gracefulness. It has been very long since someone was able to be aloof in front of this old man. Li Taisui smiled amiably. Senior, are you making fun of Humi? Humi saw Senior bow your head to that prehistoric Liao emperor a moment ago. Humi blinked, her tone carrying a bit of mockery. Li Taisui's smile was even more profound. What this old man said is true. It has been very long since a cultivator like you dared to ridicule this old man. You flatter me. Senior must not be angry. Humi smiled. Of the renowned Azure Dragon Territory Star Masters, only you can be considered passable, miss. Truly, reality does not live up to the name. On the surface, Li Taisui appeared to be recovering, but in secret, he had already spread his divine intent to cover the Crystal Dragon Palace. He was secretly monitoring all battles. Yi Fudu and Song Feng were working together to suppress. Shurjio Ing had revealed his true body wand was surrounded and had incurred everyone's wrath. Xiang Chenxing had taken an enormous advantage over 3 feeble female cultivators. Han Bing was being entangled by a female cultivator, etc. Every move and gesture was within the palm of Li Taisui's hand. Even when his divine intent had detected many hidden star generals, they were far too weak. Li Taisui disdained to lift a hand against them. Suddenly seeing a star master as eye-catching as Humi, it was no wonder that Li Taisui would show a satisfied expression. However, beneath his satisfaction was an even stronger rejection of the influence of the Azure Dragon Territory's star masters. Humi did not retort. The Azure Dragon Territory was fine, as was the White Tiger Territory. Star masters, in the end, represented only themselves. As for right and wrong, good and bad, human and demon, everything was a fleeting cloud. Since this is the case, Humi shall arrogantly challenge Senior on behalf of the Azure Dragon Territory. But if Senior loses, Humi wonders if it is possible for Senior to pull back your forces? The star duel originally should be after the 3 heavenly books. This is what a star duel is, do you not agree? Li Taisui laughed aloud and praised her. This old man Li Taisui today shall agree with you, but little girl, if you lose, then look out for your own life. Humi smiled. Li Taisui shook the paper fan, activating 9 turns widespread thunderbolt. The sky and earth turned, and blue thunder fell. Humi's sleeves fluttered, and several wisps of purple smoke flew out from the sleeves. Then, this purple smoke looped around Humi's whole body. The purple smoke quickly spread like a heavenly canopy, and when the blue thunder boomed against the canopy, the cracks of firewood could seemingly be heard. The inside of the purple smoke twinkled, tottering. Li Taisui pinched his fingers together. Blue thunder as wide as a bucket was about to forcefully break through Humi's defensive ability. Humi's expression turned grim. Her expression changed as the purple smoke was quickly breached by the blue thunder. The smoke dissipated, revealing an absolutely beautiful flying sword formation. This was the heaven-filling purple firmament flying swords, 9 palaces heart-protecting array. 2. Li Taisui wore a slight smile and nodded to himself. He continued to wave the paper fan. Thunder suddenly rose, transforming into a tidal wave. As far as Humi could see, thunderbolts became cavalry barreling at her. The powerful thunder and lightning leveled a range of several li arcs of lightning struck Humi, and the girl felt her whole body was in scorching pain. This was Li Taisui's trump card. Thunder moves 9 heavens. 3. Humi, look out! Su Jingshu nervously shouted. Humi's brows locked tight. Her legs could not help but take a step back, for she already had thoughts of retreating. You must pay the price for underestimating this old man, a very wretched price. A benevolent voice transmitted through the waves of thunder. Li Taisui's paper fan once again waved. Under Humi's feet, a purple magic circle suddenly appeared. This array was full of ancient characters, and the inside had the markings of a strange beast. Countless purple arcs of lightning spurt out of the array. These arcs were no harmful, but Humi immediately felt the surrounding space be disturbed by this lightning, incapable of being moved. The purple lightning formed a cage. Humi found she had no way out. Lightning flash thunder barrier. What a powerful technique. Humi drew in a breath. Her whole body felt cold. This was the first time she had a premonition of her mortality. She was unable to keep her composure anymore. The fox of voracious admiration quickly formed hand seals, stringing them together continuously, an incantation pouring forth endlessly from her mouth. Humi promptly raised the black turtle seal again. The 3-inch black turtle seal suddenly expanded and rose into the air. It was the size of a mountain, dimming the seas. The seal's bottom had the words, "Black Turtle," and its oppressive spiritual aura heralded the black turtle's emergence into the world. Humi practically imbued all of her magic energy into the black turtle seal. The black turtle seal hurtled straight down at the Thunder Moves 9 Heavens magic. With a bang, Thunder Moves 9 Heavens surprisingly swallowed the black turtle seal like a great wave. The thunder's clear light was endless. Humi continued to form hand seals, and suddenly, there was a bang, an ear-splitting noise. The black turtle seal finally shattered Thunder Moves 9 Heavens, and at the same time, this powerful prehistoric spirit treasure surprisingly lost its spiritual powers in totality, becoming a 3-inch sized seal. It lost its sharpness, and Humi's body shuddered. She vomited blood. Clearly, this was not good to endure, but the girl completely did not relax. Once the Thunder Moves 9 Heavens was destroyed, she immediately recalled the black turtle seal, looking upon this large seal with distress. "Go!" Humi shouted. Li Taisue's lightning flash thunder barrier was capable of completely trapping someone in an instant. A strong person could endure this, but a single instant was enough to decide life and death. Without this instant of Thunder Moves 9 Heavens, and without Yang Zijin's attacks of instantaneous speed, by the time the force passed, Humi had enough time to break through. The heaven-filling purple firmament's flying sword's light broke. Relying on just her super void cultivator star energy, she easily broke the array. But even so, the use of the black turtle seal just now in the Thunder Moves 9 Heavens left Humi's vitality greatly harmed. She wiped the blood at the corner of her mouth. The fox of voracious admiration's expression was even colder. In her heart, she knew that even before the battle had begun, her chances of victory had already slipped away. "Humi, why did you not use the Supreme Ultimate Diagram?" Su Jingshu was both angry and confused as she asked this. If she used the Supreme Ultimate Diagram, she could have easily broke free of the opponent's attack. Humi could even have seized the initiative. Perhaps she could have even turned the tables, but what made Su Jingshu perplexed was that Humi would rather brave the risk of using the black turtle seal instead of using the Supreme Ultimate Diagram. Humi slightly sighed as she looked at the completely drained black turtle seal. Because she had the Supreme Ultimate Diagram, the publicly recognized #1 prehistoric spirit treasure in Liangshan continent, the fox of voracious admiration did not have many important magic treasures. She did not expect that at the critical moment, this black turtle seal she seized from the purple thunder monster's lover would surprisingly save her life. Hearing Su Jingshu's question, Humi gazed at the prayer mat that Li Taisui sat upon with odd coldness. "I cannot use it. The prayer mat this Li Taisui sits upon could be the current #1 on the spirit sealing list, the good fortune prayer mat. The Supreme Ultimate Diagram must be used second to launch a surprise attack. If we lose our chance, we will die without doubt." Guardian star Su Jingshu was shaken. If Humi could have seen her, then she would have seen unprecedented shock on Gold Lancer Su Ning's expression. To still be calculating the confrontation of the Supreme Ultimate Diagram against the good fortune prayer mat at the crux of life and death, Su Jingshu admitted to herself she did not have the courage for this. If Su Xing could see this, he probably would be intrigued as well. "But if you do not use the Supreme Ultimate Diagram, we will never defeat him." Su Jingshu's worries were very grim. The old man in front of them was very powerful, she could sense it. Yes, Humi's worried brows creased even more deeply. "Little youngster, eat this old man's lightning once more." Li Taisui smiled and waved the paper fan. A bolt of lightning instantly crackled in front of Humi. Humi barely defended it, and her internal injuries once again grew more severe. The girl endured the blood rushing into her throat. She pointed her hand and shouted, "10 sides complete annihilation sword array." Humi's pervasive purple firmament 9 palaces flying swords fired countless bursts of light. They were like shooting stars, launched towards every single one of Li Taisui's pressure points, completely sealing every single angle and blind spot that Humi could think of with flying swords. Purple sword light radiated, winding around. The sword array took shape, the peak of an encirclement. Even a similarly ranked cultivator would find it hard to contend against another supervoid cultivator's sword array. Li Taisui's eyes held an aloofness that seemed to mock her. The paper fan in his hand gently waved. An autumn breeze rose and thunderbolts fell, countering the incoming sword lights. The paper fan shook. He was thinking of counterattacking, but Humi had taken the dominant position. How could she be so lax? She formed hand seals, and the sword array's attack power was then unexpectedly like a tidal wave, continuous. The sword lights that filled the sky revolved about, like countless snowflakes drifting down. Humi had the intent to force Li Taisui into use the magic weapon at the top of the spirit sealing list, the good fortune prayer mat. She held nothing back, using every trick and ability she had. Thus, her heavenly spirit astral treasure, parting star ring, fecta divine light, 2, and other abilities were used in succession. Little girl, these are good tricks. Li Taisui leisurely smiled. All of a sudden, his eyes exploded with a severe radiance. The paper fan waved downwards, and the ground thundered. A gigantic animal-shaped arc of lightning formed. Its thunderlight was glistening, the arcs of electricity like dragons. The old man commanded it to go forth. The thunderlight flashed, and Humi's omnidirectional sword array and other powers were completely broken. The thunderbeast's aggression made Humi vomit blood, and the girl's eyes showed grimness. So powerful! Even a top-notch Star Master would have difficulty contending against a Star Master like this. Just what kind of monster is he? Humi barely stabilized her body. She released a protective fecta divine light to shield her body. In her mind, she asked, Jing Shu, if there was no Tai spherical heaven form array, what are your odds of victory? This old man's star general is of unclear background, but she appears to be very powerful. I fear she will not be very easy to deal with. Su Jingshu looked like a calm maiden, a gentle and tranquil woman, amidst a storm as she watched the thunderlight. Even the proud guardian star had a grave tone. Humi grunted. This old man's strength was unfathomable, so much so that he did not take one step away from where he sat on the prayer mat as he warded off all of her attacks. It was also clear that the paper fan in his hand was a powerful magic weapon. Perhaps Su Jingshu could have a chance if she comprehended her heaven rank or used her earth rank at an unexpected moment, but this old man's experience was boundless, terrifyingly astute. To catch him off guard was undoubtedly the sleep talk of an idiot, and it appeared he did not currently have the occasion to use his full power. Now, perhaps only the purple thunder monster could possibly compare to him. Thinking fast as lightning, all of a sudden, Humi felt her entire body go numb. From inside the star nest, Su Jingshu shouted, Humi, look out! Humi was taken aback and lifted her head. The sound of thunder and fierce winds rolled into her face. Li Taisui suddenly vanished from atop the mat, pouncing forth as if he was a dragon. Humi, in her shock, completely did not anticipate this. While the old man's face wore a benign smile, his left index finger advanced to tap a spot on Humi's chest. This finger was like a divine soldier directly striking her heart. Humi's whole body was ice cold. At this time, the girl was already without any chance to resist. In the thunder and wind, Humi heard the old man's assertion. This old man shall take your life. That old man really is a monster, to have such powerful force. Fortunately, he is not our enemy right now. There was a crowd of people several dozen li away. Those people were dressed in black robes and armor, their baleful auras skyrocketing, up to the extent that all of their surroundings seemed to be covered in a gloom. The man leading these people spoke. He wore clothes as black as ink, was just about 20 in age, with sharp brows and bright eyes. In his handsomeness was a clear coldness, like an unsheathed sword displayed in its splendor, a difficult-to-forget impression. Li Taisui and Humi's battle was far too unreasonable. Even from this far away, they could sense the pressure. However, it was precisely because of this old man's powerful aura of chi that the man felt that even Humi was not worth a mention. In his heart, he naturally determined that a star master who fought Li Taisui was as good as dead. Lord husband, he is not an enemy now, but afterwards? Could we be as lucky? Shengxiang does not like weak men. The man was none other than Holy Lord of Draconic Demon. At his side was a girl. Her spotlessly white hands held a cup of wine as she walked in front of him, her long and slender fingers resting on the porcelain. The wine in the cup was a dark green brew, beautiful as well. The woman had a lovely and charming grace, with an endless loveliness as she looked around and spoke. This woman was like her name, Su Shengxiang. 3. Her jade body had a fresh fragrance, a faint scent. The Devil Star Palace originally sought out Star Master Shiyu to cultivate the Devil Star Luan movement, dual cultivation art, to greatly bolster the Holy Lord of Draconic Demons cultivation. However, it was nevertheless because of Su Xing that the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon cut a very sorry figure returning the way he came. Afterwards, they begrudgingly searched the Black Turtle territory without restraint for a Star Master. The Devil Star Palace's reputation was illustrious and celebrated in the Black Turtle territory, but that did not help much. And because Great Saint Starkiller had betrayed an allied Star Master, the current Devil Star Palace repulsed everyone. However, they did not expect that a woman would nevertheless come searching for them. She was Su Shengxiang. Shengxiang, what realm is your Devil Star Luan movement at? When can we practice it? Holy Lord of Draconic Demon looked at the girl's shapely figure, gritting his teeth. What is Lord Husband worried for? The 5th stage still has not started, correct? Could it be you are afraid that Shengxiang will run away? Shengxiang already calls you Lord Husband. Su Shengxiang faintly smiled, assuming a seductive manner. The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon was not afraid of Su Shengxiang having some ulterior motive. She was currently being doted upon by the Black Turtle Territory's Devil Sect. The treatment she received was immeasurably greater than what she received before. Her 3-star destined weapon was even upgraded to 5-star, and she even received a prehistoric spirit treasure, the 5 Elements ring that was ranked 19th on the spirit ceiling list. Of course, the condition for all of this was that Su Shengxiang would willingly be branded with a complete destruction forbid dance in her body by Devil Ancestor Dark Nether. 5. Even the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon felt this forbid dance was disgusting, shunning it to no end. If we want a place in the star duels, then we must work together. This is beneficial for the both of us. The Devil Star Luan movement art, so long as you and I have deep trust, will allow us to reach perfect harmony. Black and yellow are indistinguishable, water and milk are inseparable. In the future, the legendary Heaven-Earth Dark Yellow skills of Star Master can be possible. Then, we will inevitably make the Purple Thunder Monster and that Water Illusion Fairy pay the price. The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon's eyes showed killing intent. Su Shengxiang smiled without saying anything. With such a great situation, it is a pity the Purple Thunder Monster escaped, truly a great pity. Su Shengxiang looked around at the surroundings. Now, the White Tiger 7 Spirit Stars are already slaughtering the other Star Masters. Lord Husband, will you not do anything? The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon looked around. He had no interest in meddling with the battle of the Star Masters. The 3 Ruan's water fort was not easy to handle, for the water fort disciples had established a powerful formation to protect Ruan Jiner and Ruan Mayor. Also, Ruan Jiner's surroundings had countless black butterflies dancing about. The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon recognized these as Ming Dai's Hell Fantasy Death Butterfly Flying Swords. To face them was truly troublesome. Heaven knew what other flying sword abilities that this sword star had. Of course, there was another reason, and that was there was only one person that the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon focused his hatred on, the Purple Thunder Monster. But the Purple Thunder Monster being seemingly absent from the banquet made him slightly irritated. Then let us seize the opportunity to kill that Pilgrim Wu Song and those other star generals then. It seems she does not have a contract. Killing that knowledge star and the Purple Thunder Monster's other star generals back to the star nest will satisfy the hatred in my heart. The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon grunted. He was not at all aware that Wu Xinjie had lost her virginity. He did not have too much interest in a star general that could return to the star nest upon death. Thus, he was even more resentful of the Wu Xiao who stood on the Purple Thunder Monster's side. Will you elders not take action? The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon looked back and asked the elders standing behind him. The Devil Star Palace's 4 great law protectors were all in attendance. However, Elder Dried Bone, Corpse Devil Ruthlessness, and True Lord Heavenly Commandment were all unmoved. Holy Lord, the star duels are something we are not to interfere in. Elder Dried Bone smiled. The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon nodded in understanding. It appeared that the prehistoric Liao Emperor's defeat was inevitable. If Chao Gai was to investigate the Tai spherical heaven form array, things would be bad. I will go. Just as the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon and Su Shengxiang were about to go forth, suddenly, the always gloomy and silent Fiend Star coldly spoke. Fellow Fiend Star, do not be impulsive. Elder Dried Bone advised. This will not implicate Devil Ancestor nor the Devil Star Palace. Fiend Star will bear all the consequences. The man coldly said, Your servant feels that confronting several star generals trapped in an array will make Snioer Fiend Star's actions contrarily hurt the Devil Star Palace's face. Just allow Lord Husband and your servant go take care of this. If later the Purple Thunder monster emerges from hiding for a sneak attack, then please assist, Senior. Su Shengxiang's tone was gentle, soft to the bone. Even the Devil Star Palace's great law protectors went limp. Fiend Star snorted, as if he did not feel anything. This made Su Shengxiang a bit surprised. What Shengxiang is very correct. Headmaster does not want to allow the Azure Dragon territory to see the Black Turtle territory's #1 Devil Palace as being exploitative. True Lord Heavenly Commandment said, Fellow Fiend Star, I feel that you ought to listen to Shengxiang's words. Fiend Star understands. Fiend Star's voice emotionlessly answered. Holy Lord of Draconic Demon and Su Shengxiang used their flying swords to make their way towards the Knowledge Star with brewing murderous intent. Along the way, Su Shengxiang glanced at Fiend Star, a peculiar luster in her eyes. She asked without any feeling, Lord Husband, this Fiend Star is the Devil Star Palace's newly inducted law protector? He does not seem to be an ordinary cultivator. He is indeed unordinary. However, as for his identity, wife will naturally find out in the future. At that time, he will not allow wife to be full of pleasant surprise. Husband can guarantee that. The Holy Lord of Draconic Demons seemingly smiled. Seeing there was a deeper meaning to Holy Lord of Draconic Demons' words, Su Shengxiang fell into contemplation with an odd expression. Several escape lights flew out from a temple in this plain and unadorned town along the shore of the East Sea. The escape lights flashed, making the residents of the entire Jima city feel a powerful pressure. The sky seemed to envelop the city like Mount Tai. Dogs stopped barking, and the vegetation seemed to stiffen. It made the people unable to breathe think they had reached the end of days. Fortunately, this type of pressure lasted merely an instant. Those rays of escape lights moved past the east side of Jima City. A few moments later, they vanished into the crashing white waves of the East Sea, and only then did the city recover its calm. The residents farmed, the grasses bent with the wind, everything was as before. But some cultivators in the city were nevertheless shocked. Just now, that was the spiritual pressure of a supervoid cultivator, too terrifying. I think I saw 3 silhouettes. 3 supervoid cultivators? Everyone took a deep breath. 3 supervoid cultivators simultaneously rushing towards someplace impatiently, everyone suddenly felt chills. At the center of the East Sea, the winds were calm. The escape lights topped, revealing a man, 2 girls and a dragon boat. They were Su Xing, Gong Kaiwei, Zhao Hanyan, and in the dragon boat were Lin Yingmei, Ansuan, Hunyangzi and the others. Peering into the center of the East Sea, suddenly, Su Xing's head hurt. Su Xing, what is the matter? Zhao Hanyan asked in concern. Su Xing's brow locked tight, and his eyes showed frightening murderous intent. Tang Tang returned to the star nest. Zhao Hanyan had yet to meet Rat Star by Yutong. Hearing Su Xing's words, she was subconsciously amazed. Could it be that Su Xing contracted yet another star general? She had wanted to ask, but seeing Su Xing's ice-cold expression, she let the question remain in her heart. Bai Yutong has entered the star nest. It appears that the Crystal Dragon Palace is far more dire than I had imagined. Gong Kaiwei said. Seeing that she was apparently more familiar with Su Xing's matters than she herself, Zhao Hanyan's heart was somewhat jealous, but her expression was still unfazed as she said, "But how should we go down?" Staring at the boundless East Sea, they were currently at somewhat of a predicament. The scene that appeared before them was the East Sea seemingly being congealed into motionlessness. Let alone the year-round ocean breeze, even the flow of water had disappeared. It was as if the sea had been frozen, and even the air was stagnant. The group attempted to penetrate the ocean surface, yet they seemed to be hindered by something invisible. No matter how much strength they exerted, they could not move an inch. This must be the Crystal Dragon Palace's 24 connecting heaven-ocean settling pearls? A self-contained barrier, no one comes in and no one gets out. Dong Junqing muttered. There is also the Tai spherical heaven form array. One was the connecting heaven-ocean settling barrier, and the other was the Tai spherical heaven form array that was able to render star generals powerless. 2 barriers, this was simply an astonishing trick. In 1,000 years of star duels, there was never such time for a complete slaughter like this, right? Gong Sun Huang blinked. She raised and pointed her pine-brand ancient sword and activated half-destroyed landscape, a magic capable of breaking arrays, but under this connecting heaven-ocean settling effect, the mountain-toppling half-destroyed landscape was unexpectedly flabby, not even the slightest bit useful. Just when everyone was stumped, earthly leader star resourceful strategist Zhu Sha, the woman who was emotionless as a mountain, finally spoke. Allow your servant. Zhu Sha, can you? Gong Kaiwei was not without worry. Although the resourceful strategist possessed the strongest array abilities among the 108 star maidens, they had already heard her explain the formidable aspects of the Tai spherical heaven form array, this type of nightmare array that could restrain star generals. As a star general, Zhu Sha's capability to break it was an unknown. The connecting heaven-ocean settling barrier is a prehistoric barrier, sheltering the Dragon Palace for 1,000 years. If it is destroyed at this time, I fear the casualties will be disastrous. Zhao Hanyan's brow furrowed. For the Dragon Palace that was 10,000 li under the sea to lose the protection of the connecting heaven-ocean settling barrier, not only would the Crystal Dragon Palace become dust, the people inside would inevitably die. Zhu Sha nodded. The earthly leader star appeared to be very clear that matters at hand were exceptionally intractable. Zhu Sha hovered in the air, her 5 elements weather banner unfurling. The 5-sided banner became 5 rays of auspicious light, linking together into one chi. It sublimated into the ocean settling barrier, and then, the girl chanted. Her forehead's star crest shimmered. The boundless East Sea displayed a multicolored array. Upon seeing it, Gong Kaiwei knew that Zhu Sha was currently seeking the connecting heaven-ocean settling pearl's weak point. Consequently, she did not hesitate to use resonance, pouring all of her star energy into Zhu Sha. The earthly leader star Zhu Sha received the star energy of the Supervoid stage Star Master, and her cultivation and realm dramatically increased. The array's light was even brighter. When Su Xing and Zhao Hanyan saw this, they guarded Gong Kaiwei from the left and right so as to avoid the girl being sneak attacked. At the same time, Lin Yingmei and Hun Yangzi guarded Zhu Sha while Insuin used spiritual aura distribution to replenish Zhu Sha's spiritual energy. After a certain amount of time, the crimson light in Zhu Sha's eyes was boundless. Every sort of differently shaped seal and script churned like tadpoles in the East Sea. The 5 elements weather banner became 5 types of 5 elements arrays. Each was interlocked, profound beyond compare. Then they heard Zhu Sha's voice that was as cold as stone. Sisters, your servant will use her earth rank to break this barrier. However, your servant needs to borrow sister's strength. Attack together, and only then will we be able to open a path. Zhu Sha slowly said. Lin Yingmei and the others understood. Their destined star weapons successively entered their hands, assuming a formation. Zhu Sha's voice began to become sonorous. The cauldron uses heaven and earth, medicine must have crow and rabbit, put in the refined golden pellet at any time. A tiger roar in the water, a crimson dragon coils in the fire. Further, liquid lead shakes mercury. From the valley up to the mixed pellet. Matters of suns, water and fire recover disgrace, return to age adopting childish countenance. The 5 elements, all 4 symbols, no reconciliation at the crux, as suspended as leisure. 6 days as the stars indicate, Jade leaves Mount Kuan. The motionless fine clouds and rain, at any place in no time, straight through 3 passes. Inside the yellow court, a sun returns, and the pellet takes time. When she finished speaking, when she uttered the last word, the entire blue East Sea suddenly radiated 5 lights. Then, the 5-sided 5 elements became a flagpole that flashed with a serenely strange luster. The silken flag used golden thread that filled with odd talisman script. Then, this banner spun, and a thin ray of magic energy enveloped the entire East Sea. The 5 elements arrays combined into one, releasing resplendent light onto a certain area, trapping the array like a spiderweb. Afterwards, the deathly quiet sea finally showed an anomaly. The ocean surface showed clear golden light on the horizon, brighter and brighter. Then, a beautiful ball of light appeared as if a moon was rising out of the sea. Su Xing and Zhao Hanyan showed amazed expressions. Gong Caiwei's body shuddered. Clearly, the connecting heaven-ocean settling pearls were very powerful. Even using resonance was taxing on the girl's strength. Gradually, she became increasingly pained, and she was already nearing her limit. At this moment, Gong Caiwei felt her hand warm. Su Xing gripped her hand. For one reason, he used an aspect of the heart-like mirror absolute sincerity soul technique's realm to transmit strength to Gong Caiwei, making the girl's pain abate. She recovered her calm, and the other was to give the girl a feeling of safety. A comforting warmth poured into her mind. Gong Caiwei's heart warmed. She lightly bit her red lips, and her pale complexion showed a slight blush. Little sis Caiwei, do not fail our kindness. At the same time, Zhao Hanyan slightly smiled as she held her other hand. Gong Caiwei grunted, and her eyes glowed brightly. Zhu Sha shouted, and the sea shook. She had resonated with Gong Caiwei to the limit. The bright moon suddenly broke. With an enormous boom, the ocean settling barrier finally cracked. The earthly leader stars Earth rank array. Bright full moon fills heaven and earth. 2. When they saw that a hole appeared in Liangshan continent's peerless connecting heaven-ocean settling barrier under Zhu Sha's powerful barrier, Lin Yingmei and the rest did not hesitate to raise their weapons and charge towards that moon. Their figures were like swords, swift as lightning. Freezing frost of 9 provinces. Flying star magpie dance. Half-destroyed landscape. Su Xing and Zhao Hanyan simultaneously tossed magic weapons and abilities at that bright moon. Under the assault of several star maidens, the cracking connecting heaven-ocean settling barrier had another slight hole torn into it, but it was nevertheless difficult to pry it open with the final strike. Seeing the connecting heaven-ocean settling barrier was about to recover, Lin Yingmei's brow wrinkled tightly. She decided to use her Earth rank Ice Heart Seal's Sun and Moon to break it, but just at this moment, a ray of golden light fell, coming from the far east. With a lion's roar, the golden light brought the power of 10,000 troops to break through. 3. The powerful martial force struck the center of the bright moon. One final hole at last broke it open. The Crystal Dragon Palace immediately opened before their eyes. Su Xing and the others were taken aback. The golden light receded, and a beautiful woman appeared riding a golden qilin. Her hand held a golden lance. Her brow was picturesque, and she glowed continuously. Did Shower catch up to this banquet at just the right time, eh? Su Xing. The girl turned her head back and smiled. Su Xing slightly smiled and nodded. The newcomer was the number 1 in martial force, Strength Star Jade Qilin Lu Xiao and her dark rank technique. Cavalry breaks apart 1,000 militaries. Turning back the clock a bit. To speak of Xuanla Feifei in the Crystal Dragon Palace. Mu Zhiyu and Mu Wuyu under the Tai spherical heaven form array had their true identities exposed even though they were traces of true spirits. The assassin sisters were astonished and looked at each other in bewilderment. This Tai spherical heaven array is so incredible. Just what is this thing, to unexpectedly even affect us to an extent? Mu Wuyu clicked her tongue. Maiden Mountain hides many things. Xuanla Feifei smiled and said, Did you not already ascend Maiden Mountain? Just what is up there anyways? Mu Duang blinked curiously, her in-room black panther at her side. Although they had been trapped in the array, she did not have any sense of danger at all, and neither did she have any slightest bit of wariness. She was nearly completely oblivious that there were already cultivators in the surroundings targeting her. Whereas her elder sister Mu Qingying's cold posture, the killing intent stringing out from her fingers, emitted a powerful pressure. This stark contrast between the assassin sisters suddenly made Xuanla Feifei feel that if she could truly make each and every one of their movements complement one another, then perhaps they truly could be unrivaled. Mu Duang's words made Bing Qingxian show curious expressions. Just what was atop Maiden Mountain? Opinions differed. The greatest legend was that it was the Star World after transforming Star of Annihilation, but just what that was, no one could say for sure. They could only imagine. Consequently, the Star Duels received all of Liangshan continent's attention. To be able to cut down on a few hundred, maybe even 1,000 years of cultivation, to directly witness Star World from the peak of Maiden Mountain at the Seven Stars Assembly, this was perhaps the dream of every cultivator. The Seven Stars Assembly is from being that simple. Xuanla Feifei showed contemplation. She lowered her head in thought, and her eyes for a time were blank, and then they were filled with an ominous glint at others. They changed constantly, however. In her trace of true spirit status, Xuanla Feifei could not remember too clearly. Did you appear in order to confront the Purple Thunder monster? Bing Qingxian continued to ask. The man was full of expectation. This Purple Thunder monster is truly defiant of the natural order. He has unexpectedly contracted so many star generals, Maiden Mountain should have dealt with him long ago. Xuanla Feifei refused to answer. She merely smiled and said, Rather than wonder how he is able to contract so many star generals, is it not better to ponder upon why the likes of Lin Chong and Wu Song would follow him? That monster must have used a despicable trick, not worth mentioning. Bing Qingxian said gloomily. Mu Wuyu chortled. As an assassin, she felt that Bing Qingshuan's phrasing was honestly somewhat ridiculous. And why have we not seen you use this type of despicable trick? Mu Zhiyu said. Bing Qingshuan twitched his lips, not saying a word. However, as an assassin, what have you to fear? The more star generals he has is not necessarily better for him. Could it be you still want a direct confrontation with him? Xuanla Feifei sneered at him. Your servant engraves fairy's words to memory. Bing Qingxian cupped his fist. Xuanla Feifei grunted. The assassination art that I will impart to you next is something that Jiyu and Wuyu devised. This fairy sees you are very intelligent and is confident that with a little comprehension, you definitely will not fail to live up to our painstaking labors. That Purple Thunder monster cannot bring trouble to you. Wu Song, Lin Chong, Gong Sun Sheng, Yan Qing, and Dao Quan and even Tang Long. Speaking of these names, Xuanla Feifei smiled. The fairy shook her head. Not only did he have powerful attack star generals, even top-notch supportive spiritual energy star generals like Dao Quan and Tang Long were in his camp. No wonder Bing Qingxian was so unsightly. After this banquet, this fairy shall help you dispatch him. Xuanla Feifei indifferently said. After hearing Xuanla Feifei's promise, Bing Qingxian was delighted from the bottom of his heart. He promptly said, So long as fairy kills the Purple Thunder monster, those star generals of his can be left to Qingxian. This is the perfect test for the assassination art that fairy wants to impart. Xuanla Feifei's lips slightly curled. As expected, he was a shameless man. To unexpectedly think of exploiting her in order to seize his chance at consuming the star energy of several top-notch star generals. However, this was what she had wished for, and there was nothing rash in exerting a final effort for the Mu sister assassins. You must remember this. Xuanla Feifei reminded Mu Duang. The latter was somewhat inattentive and seemed to not have heard anything. Lian Xin and the Purple Thunder monster are related? Mu Duang was confused. Mu Wuyu was just about to ridicule her. All of a sudden, Mu Huai cast a chilling glance at one of the surrounding corners. Is something the matter? Elder sister? Mu Wuyu asked. It seems as if something was spying on us just now? Mu Huei said coldly. Mu Wuyu smiled and said, Elder sister is just oversensitive. With so many cultivators and star masters, is spotting us not very normal? However, we will not mind killing those people. Xuanla Feifei suddenly sneered, the Azure Dragon has suffered crushing defeat. Meanwhile, the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon and Su Shengxiang finally made their move against Wu Xinjie and the others. Although they appeared to not have their contractor Su Xing nearby, across all of the Crystal Dragon Palace, this Star Master's power was contrarily the strongest. Even if Harm's star Wu Xiao had the Pilgrim's array, the Pilgrim was unable to take a step inside the array, but each of the Star Maiden's star beasts were summoned, making all the cultivators stunned. Wu Xiao's white and black unicorn tiger, Hua Wanyue's heavenly hero Luan Phoenix, Wu Xinjie's nine-tailed spirit fox, Zhang Yuqi's urgent sea white spirit python, not one of these did not make those cultivators proceed rashly. Furthermore, the knowledge star resourceful star Wu Xinjie's 8 gates black gold chains were capable of autonomous movement even while she was trapped by the array. They were completely unaffected. Meanwhile, the water illusion fairy and Han Bing were already engaged in battle. The two of them were both impressive supervoid star masters. Each of their strengths, magic weapons, and cultivation were all equally matched. The sword light of the heavenly paradise water moon mat marked flying swords formed an odd flower pattern that clashed with Han Bing's 33 dark skies star frost sword lights. The only things visible were bursts of cold air and fluttering snowflakes. Han Bing's was an immemorial sword chant, far stronger than Shi Yu's. The flying swords fought fiercely, and the bone-chilling cold that passed through the sword tips directly reached the young girl's heart. Shi Yu was in constant suffering. Han Bing was as cold as ice. She pointed her hand. The evil cleanup knife unleashed a green light that twisted towards Wu Xiao. Han Bing knew that Wu Song had yet to sign a contract, and the first thought on her mind was to kill this terrifying pilgrim. The white and black unicorn tiger released white light and pounced, but heaven-shaking Thunder Lingzhen's star beast was a tiger-like beast with wings. It was a fierce beast of rolling thunder known as Poor Thunderclap. Its voice was like a roll of thunder, and it could spit thunderbolts. Poor Thunderclap and Little White rolled about. The evil cleanup knife circled around again through the gaps in the 8 gates black gold chain towards Wu Xiao. The cool and elegant pilgrim remained composed. Just as she was about to be cut down by the blade, all of a sudden, the shadow of a ruler appeared around Wu Xiao. Shi Yu had used the dual mode's ruler just in time. The ruler shadows spun about Wu Xiao and the others. For a time, the world seemed to flip around, spinning along with the dual modes, striking down the evil cleanup knife. Han Bing's expression was even colder. Why would you protect her? You clearly know that Wu Song and the Purple Thunder Monster have a deep relationship. In the future overlordship, do you think he will protect you? Shi Yu faintly smiled. This is something between milord and lowly servant. 2. What does it concern you? Milord. Han Bing's expression shifted, somewhat astonished. That Purple Thunder Monster truly has astounding tricks. I do not know what bewitchment he used, but he has not only fooled those star generals, but he has even convinced a star master like you to sell him your life. Han Bing is truly quite astonished. Experience lowly servant first, then talk. Shi Yu shouted. She raised another magic weapon. The blood spider's seal suddenly enlarged. An enormous blood shadow of a spider seemingly scuttled towards Han Bing. When the blood seal was released, the surrounding cold air condensed bloody frost. Han Bing coldly glanced at it and waved an extended hand. The 33 dark sky star frost sword became 2 rays of sword light that flanked it from the left and right. Cold light illuminated, and the blood spider was cut apart by the sword light. As expected of an immemorial sword chant, the moment a sword array appeared, the blood spider's seal was frozen solid. Such a stubborn star master, just retreat from the star duels. Han Bing paused. Wu Xinjie entered the 8 gates black gold chain. The black gold chains linked and wrapped around, assuming the form of the stars as they scattered around all of the girls. It paired with Shi Yu's dual mode's ruler. Now, there was no fear of somebody else sneak attacking. The knowledge star expressionlessly looked at the battlefield in front of her. Although the White Tiger 7 spirit stars were each in their own battles, Wu Xinjie nevertheless knew that these White Tiger 7 spirit stars wanted to defeat each of the others and then finally unite to attack the girls, to obtain the greatest benefit in these star duels. Wu Xinjie was considering this at the current moment. Elder sister. Thief Star Shi Yuan called out and interrupted Wu Xinjie's thoughts. How was it? Wu Xinjie raised her head. Shi Yuan winked, a knowing expression. Her 3 burrows crafty rabbit kneaded its face as it sat on her shoulder. Wu Xinjie smiled, a north wind that was like a blade. No one could guess what the knowledge star was thinking. Die, all of you. Suddenly at this moment, the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon and Su Shengxiang already attacked. The 9 phantasms, 10 banes, capital demon swords, demon shadows emerged in great numbers, like thousands of wisps of wretched smoke. They pounced like demons, immediately joining Han Bing's side. Teng Teng quickly returned to the star nest. Wu Xinjie issued orders without the slightest hesitation. Bearing the brunt, the rat star by Yutong next to Zhang Yuqi blinked her bright eyes. She listened to the knowledge star's words, and her star crest immediately flashed on her forehead. Her figure dispersed like smoke. Just like this, she vanished from the array, leaving the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon dumbstruck. Self-star release? But the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon completely did not sense that wretchedness from a star release. Generally speaking, even if she had star released, there would be an outflow of a lot of star energy. This star energy was categorized as a portion of a star maiden's power and could be absorbed by a star maiden, so it could be said that although a star release could return to a star nest, the damage was very serious. What happened? Su Shengxiang also felt this was strange. The Holy Lord of Draconic Demons' first thought was that the purple thunder monster was nearby, but no matter where he looked, he could not see the purple thunder monster's figure at all. However, this purple thunder monster could appear and disappear at any time. Everyone in Liangshan knew this. If there was an aureole behind them, things would be troublesome. The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon hesitated for a moment. That rat star by Yutong can brew strange wines. Perhaps that wine is the cause. Su Shengxiang stared at the girls. The girl who was as fine as a hair immediately noticed that many star maidens in front of her emitted a lustrous glow. No mistake, this was none other than Bai Yutong's dark rank wine, yearning day and night. This wine could allow a star general to return to the star nest without any restrictions. Of course, there was a certain price, and this price was that after return to the star nest, they would be unable to voluntarily leave for a certain amount of time. And it was because of this that Wu Xinjie and the others were secure in the knowledge they had backing even while trapped by this array that restrained them. Yuaner, you also return to the star nest. Wu Xinjie ordered. No way, this young lady doesn't want to be teased by Su Xing. Shi Yuan puffed her cheeks. Then die. The Holy Lord of Draconic Demons sneered. Shi Yuan made a face, and her puppet immediately rocketed into the sky. Shi Jiao slaughtered enthusiastically. His true body was a 1,000-year-old life-killing tree. This tree grew in dark and moist places, and it was specialized in devouring every type of wild animal. Commonly, some demon beasts would be eaten, bones and all, if they drew near. It could be said to be extremely cruel. After exposing his true body, Shi Jiao cruel personality was even more unrestrained. Abilities utilized at nearly supervoid middle stage could not be resisted by ordinary cultivators. Very quickly, the cultivators were defeated one after another, dying one after another, suffering grievous injuries. The Azure Dragon territory truly is a place full of trash. Shi Jiao sneered, his demon chi moved unhindered, and his tree trunk opened several dozen eyes, scanning all of his surroundings for targets. Suddenly, a star general trapped by the array entered his vision. That star general sat in a restaurant of the Dragon Palace. She originally had been savoring wine, but the Tai spherical heaven form array made her very troubled. It appeared that she did not sign a contract and was alone. On her shoulder was a tiger looking about. Shi Jiuying laughed. This perfectly suited his tastes, and he quickly moved towards her. The trapped star general was the ranked 101st star female tiger Gu Tong. Because she was not like Li Shuangfei and the others who were under the uprising, Gu Tong was also traveling alone. The Crystal Dragon Palace had suddenly caught her unprepared. Fortunately, the restaurant's position was not conspicuous, a temporary fortune for her. However, in the end she was still discovered by Shi Jiuying. Gu Tong bit her lip. The star beast tiger upon the shoulder opened its tiger mouth and bared its fangs. It roared, the powerful sound waves directly shaking apart the sharp leaves Shi Jiuying had fired, but to obstruct a supervoid cultivator's approach, this was nothing more than an idiot's sleep talk. Shi Jiuying lunged. Like blades, his branches sliced at her. Gu Tong sighed in her heart, shutting her eyes in despair. Just at this moment, a token hovered above Gu Tong's head. This token flashed with 4 golden lights, covering Gu Tong's whole body in the luster of colored glass. A warmth flowed into her limbs. But Shi Jiuying's attack was unable to pierce through the golden light barrier at all. Red ink iron certificate? Shi Jiuying was stunned. Xing'e, bestow him 1,000 gold. Chai Ling smiled sweetly. The 3-eyed wealth-inviting cat's third eye opened and fired a beam of copper and gold phantoms at Shi Jiuying. It was just like a magic weapon. Noble star, you are courting death. Shi Jiuying sneered. Seeing that Chai Lin had lost her red ink iron certificate, greedy thoughts were born in his mind. He concentrated all of his magic energy to attack Chai Ling. Little whirlwind Chai Ling covered the pretty smile on her red lips with the golden thread feather fan. The purple star astral treasure moon seizing star taking glowed with the magnificent splendor of the moon and stars. 7 stars flashed and directly protected Chai Ling. At this time, his star beast was tossed continuously away, and Shi Jiuying's branches and leaves leaked blood as he was repelled. You. This was the first time she had seen this legendary noble star little whirlwind Chai Jin. Gu Tong was somewhat shaken, for she had never thought this elder sister who was placed outside the star duels would surprisingly give up the red ink iron certificate to save her. Since you are Tong Tong's mama, this palace may as well help you. Chai Ling seemingly smiled. She glanced at Gu Tong, her expression containing an indescribable charm. Chai Ling was naturally very clear about Su Xing's trifles at the Spring Breeze Drunken Rain Pavilion. The current star and Su Xing's relationship was apparently somewhat unclear, but seeing that she did not have the uprising condition, Chai Ling thus helped her. To make that man owe her a favor was not a bad thing. Noble star, a wise man submits to the circumstances. If you join us now, we can still let bygones be bygones. Shi Jiuying coldly said. This palace shall keep her hands clean and will not wallow in filth with you. Under the moon-seizing star-taking, Chai Ling could move as she pleased in the array. The queen grunted. Jinji, Yuye, and the other female cultivators of the Great Circle Castle raised their sword chants. A fragrant breeze swept, and sword wind rustled. Shi Jiuying shook. Tree leaves flew out, filling the skies and descending to the ground with a foul black, the presence of bone-gnawing ghosts. Quickly take her away. Chai Ling shouted. Jinji and Yuye obeyed. They seized Gu Tong and quickly withdrew. Imperial Empress, be careful. Chai Ling seemed to bathe in stars. The moon-seizing star-taking was unleashed at maximum output. The noble star's expression was grim, moving backwards step by little step. Where can you run to in this place? Just die. Shi Jiuying laughed. A black chi sprinkled forth that enveloped Chai Ling. Chai Ling slightly stared. This demonkin honestly was not easy to handle. Dang Niu. At a certain place in the Crystal Dragon Palace, a heart-wrenching scream resounded. The innately irascible Sikong Dang Niu stared dumbstruck at the Xiang Chenxing who had suddenly appeared in front of her. Xiang Chenxing's true body was a rhinoceros demon beast of glistening golden armor, the luminous golden scorch. 2. It received this name from the speed of its charge that was capable of burning sand and dirt into ash. The Sikong sisters and Su Yixiao's alliance against this supervoid demon beast was already at the end of its rope. The Sikong Dongyo of an impetuous personality was oppressed stiflingly. She was far from being as composed as her elder sister, and neither was she as meticulous as Su Yixiao. In this blitz, a moment's carelessness had been seized by Xiang Qinxing. Xiang Qinxing's escape technique arrived right before Sikong Dongyo's eyes. His whole body ignited with scathing flames as he used his strongest demon beast-type ability, Burning Extreme 8 Desolations. 3. He was swift as the wind, ferocious as a wildfire. Sikong Dongyo was unable to bear the attack. She was only able to take one step back before she was struck head-on. In that instant, she only felt her bones and blood vessels burn away, an unbearable pain. This sort of pain also lasted only a moment. Sikong Dongyo was already dead almost instantaneously. The stars dimmed, and a crimson star fell. Sikong Chuha let out a mournful wail as she leapt towards her little sister's corpse. Sikong Dongyo's body was as scalding as red-hot iron. When she drew near, she could smell the stench of something burning. But in spite of it, Sikong Chuha only stared blankly at her little sister. The girl was no longer as calm and easygoing as she had been previously. Her eyes were empty and lifeless. Xiang Qinxing had no feelings of pity when he saw this. He seized the chance to charge again. Thinking that he could once again kill a Star Master, all of a sudden, countless furious flying swords spun about, linking into an ethereal sword array that surprisingly made Xiang Qinxing unable to take a single step forward. Xiang Qinxing was caught unprepared. He looked slightly in surprise at the ashen girl. "Give me back my little sister's life." Sikong Chuha shouted. The ethereal sword arrays from was like water, adopting the pattern of the Wuji. But her fury was in the end unable to manifest as strength. Xiang Qinxing bellowed, and his raging flames surged towards the sky. Once again he used Burning Extreme 8 Desolations. The swords of water instantly evaporated. "I shall send you to go see your little sister now." Xiang Qinxing growled. A beautiful figure just barely rescued Sikong Chuha. "If you want to take revenge for your sister, then calm down a bit." Su Yixiao scolded her. Sikong Chuha's eyes were a thorough red as she gazed at Xiang Qinxing with hatred etched into her very being. "This time, the Azure Dragon is bound to be destroyed. What revenge will you take then?" Xiang Qinxing's body transformed again into a tall and sturdy map. Seeing Sikong Chuha's grief, this inflexible man's eyes surprisingly showed a bit of reluctance. "I will cut you into 10,000 pieces." Sikong Chuha ground her teeth. Xiang Qinxing shook his head. His tone was as stiff as before, but with an additional bit of sympathy. "There is no need for grief. Today, the Azure Dragon Star Masters are bound to be destroyed. Allow me to end your suffering." At the same time, on Li Taisui and Humi's side, Li Taisui used his absolutely overwhelming advantage to suppress Humi. The old man's fingers snapped, and arcs of electricity linked together, forming a sword that stabbed at the girl's chest. Even the Daluo Golden Immortal would be powerless to return to heaven against this thrust. But despite Humi's wan complexion, there was nevertheless not a trace of fluster. Just at the moment her chest would be pierced, a sudden glint of phantom golden armor wrapped around the girl's body. Li Taisui's finger immediately felt his power being seemingly eaten away. The old man was taken aback. His eyes emitted light, and his fingertip fiercely pressed down, bursting forth with astral thunder. Li Taisui was repelled. The leisurely old man used his paper fan to blow away the dust on his face. The corner of his lips wore a slightly interested smile as he looked at the girl who escaped disaster. Humi's face was colorless as she panted. Her whole body vaguely shuddered uncontrollably. Was that Gold Lancer Guardian Star Su Ning's treasure armor innate skill just now? Li Taisui asked curiously. To think the White Tiger Territory's demonkin would be just slightly knowledgeable. Humi's lips slightly curled, and she wiped away blood. As Li Taisui said, that was Su Jingshu's innate skill treasure armor, just now. When in danger, the star energy in her body would automatically condense into golden armor to protect her. Although this concentrated golden armor was not real, it was because of Su Jingshu's innate skill that she could resist Star General's weapons and special attacks with a defense that was possibly even more powerful than defensive spirit treasures. However, using this kind of innate skill consumed the Star Master's star energy, and to resist the old man's thunder just now, Humi felt that the star energy in her body had been mostly drained. In her heart, she was secretly astonished the old man's strength was so unfathomable. In secret, she considered how to get away. Thinking of running? Li Taisui's expression was beneficent. Humi has not seen the magic weapon that Senior is so proud of. How can Humi run away? Humi smiled. Li Taisui nodded, slightly impressed with the girl's mental state. What a pity that you are a star master. Otherwise, this old man would definitely have trained you. Senior's words are unavoidably arrogant, as if victory in this star duel is in your grasp. Humi took a deep breath, buying time to recover her breathing. Star duel. Li Taisui smiled. Humi realized that the old man did not place the star duels in his gaze. To be accurate, he did not place other star masters in his gaze. However, he had the strength. The Azure Dragon territory is nicknamed the Star Duel's first paradise. A pity that its star masters have given up everything yet were unable to scratch us in the slightest. This old man is not arrogant. Rather, your display gives this old man no choice but to be arrogant. Li Taisui fanned himself. The Azure Dragon territory's #1 star master, the Ling Yen princess, is not here, let alone that Senior has apparently forgotten about the purple thunder monster, who is not so easy to handle. Little girl, you truly are modest. This old man has already seen the Ling Yen princess. Compared to her, you are actually somewhat stronger. That purple thunder monster has escaped calamity this time, but in the future, this old man will naturally meet him. Li Taisui slightly smiled. Humi's heart shivered. It seemed like the Ling Yen princess had already suffered defeat at Li Taisui's hand. This old man was surprisingly so powerful? Little girl, you should have some other trick left that you have not used yet. Li Taisui said, quickly use it then, do not blame this old man for not giving you a chance. Humi does not dare play any more tricks. It would be better that before Humi dies, would it be possible to allow me to see that prehistoric #1 magic weapon? Humi feigned a feeble appearance. Li Taisui's smile was even more unrestrained. Then this old man shall send you off. The Crystal Dragon Palace was in chaos. Although the White Tiger territory's demonkin ran rampant, there were still many cultivators looking out for their own interests or watching the world burn. From their perspective, this was nothing more than the final battle of the 4 territories' star masters. In 1,000 years of star duels, such an opportunity was difficult to find, but it was a pity that the star generals being trapped in the array had lost their brilliance. They could only rely on each of their star masters to fight. But it seemed that the Azure Dragon territory's star masters completely lacked the strength to fight back. The White Tiger territory's 7 spirit stars were practically a hot knife through butter, unstoppable. They could only see star master after star master fall before their eyes. Could it be that our Azure Dragon territory has no one? For us to have surprisingly fallen to such a state. A cultivator wrung his wrists in lamentation. The other cultivators were silent. The situation in front of them was indeed wretched. The Azure Dragon territory's highest-level cultivation star Master Xiezenyuna seemed to have retreated before the battle under orders from his ancestral master, breaking free and escaping from the Crystal Dragon Palace's disaster. The Ling Yen princess, widely recognized as the #1 star master, also did not appear, leaving only Yen Wudao, Long Nu and a few others being suppressed to an unsightly degree, showing a situation of defeat. It was no wonder. Without their star generals, how could star masters relying on only themselves resist Super Void Demonkin? Even the Azure Dragon territory's Super Void cultivators were far from enough. This purple thunder monster actually is a lucky bastard. He surprisingly did not appear. Otherwise, this would have been a good choice to eradicate him. What a pity! Everyone conversed one after the other. Suddenly, a dragon roar resounded through the Crystal Dragon Palace. The dragon roar drew everyone's attention. All the cultivators subconsciously lifted their heads, and the scene they saw before them immediately struck them dumb. 5 9-clawed golden dragons descended from above. Their dragon roars shook everyone present, and the crystal dragon palace's millions of cultivators raised their heads. Beautiful Buddhist light bathed all things. In the light, the petals of a lotus flower blossomed across vast space. Golden lotuses blossomed everywhere, and stern Buddhist chanting enveloped everything. The 5 9-clawed dragons coiled in the air, suddenly enlarging. They were 100 chi long, and their 5 golden rays of light directly attacked the yellow wuxin that was at the array eye of the Tai spherical heaven form array. Ever since yellow wuxin activated the Tai spherical heaven form array, producing myriad linked celestial bodies, even the unequaled Kong Ho found it difficult to move her arms and legs. That weapon in her hand wrapped in stars rose and fall directly. Rays of powerful and tyrannical sword chi fell into the Tai spherical heaven form array and fought the millions of celestial bodies. Kong Ho wrinkled her tall brows. Regarding the White Tiger Territory Star Masters trapping star generals into a position of absolute disadvantage for a star duel, she was apparently displeased, but the Tai spherical heaven form array was endless. For Kong Ho alone to break this star world level array was easy to talk about. Even if Yelu Wuxing did not have Star World's celestial body all directions banner keeping watch, she still made Kong Ho dumb as a wooden chicken. Seeing crimson stars fall one after another, Kong Ho's indolent countenance was immediately infuriated. Just at this moment, she suddenly heard a dragon roar. Kong Ho glanced over and immediately saw 5 9-clawed dragons simultaneously charge into the array. Wherever the golden dragons passed, golden lotuses blossomed, shattering the myriad stars and greatly alleviating Kong Ho's pressure. Perfect timing. A languid smile appeared on Kong Ho's lips. Her eyes suddenly released a lion-like aggression. The woman flipped the divine weapon in her hand. A galaxy suddenly split in two, protecting her left and right. Then her figure elegantly moved. She pounced, imposing and cold as a tiger, directly reaching the blue dome of heaven. Yelu Wuxin's expression changed. She had not been free of the along the river during Qingming for too long. Her star energy was far from being recovered to a perfect state. The Tai spherical heaven form array that she had used in a moment of desperation was already an arrow at the end of its flight. She had merely relied on the array to barely contain this monster-like existence that was Kong Ho, but she was already at her limit. But following the appearance of the 5 giant and magnificent golden dragons, Liao Emperor Yelu Wuxin immediately sensed a powerful pressure. A small lantern released brilliant light, absorbing the endless qi of the celestial bodies. The 5-colored glass golden dragons shredded the stars to pieces. Kong Ho's killing intent was even more penetrating, reaching directly into her heart. The light of a firefly dares to compete against the sun and moon. Yelu Wuxin forced a laugh. She promptly raised the scroll in her hand. The array shifted and endless starlight surged forth, unexpectedly trapping the 5 true dragons. The endless light then immediately dimmed. As your servant sees it, your sun and moon are still lacking. Accompanying the 5 dragons, Kong Ho marched straight in unchallenged. The twin sword galaxies in her hands were resplendent, their sword chi like rainbows as she tore the array to shreds. She easily arrived in front of Yelu Wuxin, combining her twin swords into one and slashed downwards. At the same time, a giant phoenix suddenly appeared flapping its wings. It was far more vast than the blue dome of Heave, far more glorious than the 9 firmaments. Yelu Wuxin had been expelled from Star World, and a feeling of fear once again rose in her heart. Yelu Wuxin immediately activated the Tai spherical heaven form array, book, and true dragon chi. There was a bang. The array book fluttered under Kong Ho's sword-like snowflakes. The array promptly announced its defeat. Great King, look out! The Liao Emperor's 2 fierce generals rushed over when they saw the Great King was being pressed, but how could they block Kong Ho's sword? When Chao Gai SW this, the heaven-earth dark yellow thousand pagoda flashed. She chanted, firing 2 rays of Buddhist light to absorb Wu Yenqin and He Baoer into the pagoda. The remaining sword chi shaped like a crescent moon sliced open Yelu Wuxin's body. The color drained from the elegant Liao Emperor's face, and her mouth nearly spat blood. Just as the proud woman in front of her was about to give her crushing defeat, she spread her arms. Celestial bodies ignited, forming an array. Yelu Wuxin then vanished into the array. She left only one sentence of indignation. This king absolutely will not let this matter go. Her sharp, tiger-like eyes gradually recovered their softness. Kong Ho's killing intent vanished, and she looked up at the sky and sighed. If you truly are able to defeat your servant, that would be fine as well. Pausing, Kong Ho glanced away. It seemed a man emerged from the Buddhist light. The corner of her mouth unwittingly curled into a smile. I shall leave this endgame situation to you to fix. Kong Ho and Yelu Wuxin's duel lasted merely a few blinks of the eye. Inside the array, the millions of cultivators did not catch sight of Kong Ho's powerful slash, but they felt that after the Buddhist light illuminated, that array disappeared, as if some great adept had intervened. Every single one of them could not help but stare in shock, but when they could clearly see the newcomer, they were even more surprised. Su Xing's brow wrinkled when he caught sight of Kong Ho, feeling this woman was somewhat familiar. Although he listened to Zhu Sha's proposal to enter the Dragon Palace using his strongest 5 dragon-colored glass lantern to break the array, he was somewhat surprised it was so easy. The thought instantly passed. It was too late to think any more about it. When he saw Wu Xinjie and the others were in trouble, Su Xing shot over with an escape technique. Black Ice Sealing Spirit Sword Array. Han Bing's 33 Dark Sky Star Frost swords released several beams of cold light. The sword lights linked to form a giant net of ice to capture Shiyu. The immemorial sword chance sword array was tyrannical in its might. Needless to say, they immediately suppressed Shiyu's flying swords. Sword lights froze the magic weapons and spirit lights around the girl, making Shiyu more and more taxed. Han Bing's expression was ice cold. Just as she was about to grind Shiyu to pieces, her ears suddenly boomed with thunder, shaking her body. Ling Feishue immediately warned her from inside the star nest. Han Bing looked and saw a giant dragon of purple thunder lunging towards her. Purple thunder filled the sky, menacing, a terrifying sight to behold. Han Bing immediately raised magic weapons and flying swords to ward off this blow. At the same time, gold, green, and gray sword lights attacked her. 36 flying swords fell into the sealing spirit sword array and unimaginably did not have their spiritual frozen by it. On the contrary, those gray flying swords released a faint light that completely dispatched all of the sword chi that twisted towards them. Subsequently, the golden dragons leapt out and tyrannically entangled Han Bing's immemorial flying swords. Su Xing snapped his fingers, activating the meditative mind lotus. The lotus flower opened to protect Su Xing's body, and Su Xing seized the opportunity to jump into the array. Han Bing did not expect Su Xing to surprisingly dare charge in. Even though her heart as rigid as ice, she was flustered for a brief moment. She promptly raised her demonkin true bodies, white mind returning origin, to ability. As expected, Su Xing drew close. He put 2 fingers together, and purple chi swirled like a sword as he stabbed at Han Bing's chest. This was the purple star transforming chi that was cultivated into Purple Fiend. Her chest hurt, and Han Bing coughed up a mouthful of blood. Her body was suddenly launched 100 meters away. Her ice-cold figure was suddenly a bright red. "Milord!" Shiyu was delighted. "Don't let your guard down." Su Xing was greatly relieved when he saw that Shiyu was not seriously hurt. At this time, he saw the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon and a female Star Master were entangled with Wu Xinjie. He raised his flying swords. The moment Langya appeared, the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon's devil swords immediately scattered. Purple Thunder Monster. The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon shouted, showing an expression of wanting to turn Su Xing into mincemeat. Su Xingxiang's brows rose. She retreated to a safe distance, staring at Su Xing in both shock and curiosity. This was the Purple Thunder Monster that threw 3 territories into disarray, the one who made countless star generals follow him. He looked quite dashing. Holy Lord of Draconic Demon, let us settle our grudge right here. Su Xing smiled. The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon shuddered. Although he hated Su Xing to the bone, he knew that he was no match for Su Xing, especially when Su Xing was already a supervoid cultivator. He had not even the slightest chance of winning. Do not be so. The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon was about to sneer. Su Xing suddenly attacked. His sword light was like lightning, crashing down from the front. This change of face was so fast that even the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon was too late to anticipate it. A banner suddenly unfurled, releasing a clear spiritual light that protected the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon. It then pulled him away, making Su Xing's attack miss. Heaven Departing Spirit Distribution Banner? Su Xing recognized this banner, and his brow rose. So, your distinguished self is the legendary Purple Thunder Monster? Su Xingxiang's cheeks were rosy, a smile across her whole face. Xingxiang. The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon already had intentions to retreat. The Purple Thunder Monster? Han Bing wiped blood from the corner of her mouth. Her ice-cold pupils were somewhat interested. Yes, him. Currently Liangshan's #1 Star Master. The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon deliberately said. Liangshan's #1? No need for small talk in a star duel. Su Xing waved his hand, and the Heavenly Spirit Earthly Fiend Flying Swords Earth Element, Wood Element, and Metal Element Flying Swords approached like a swarm of bees, their sword lights crisscrossing. The Heavenly Spirit Earthly Fiend Purple Star 5 Element Swords? Han Bing recognized these flying swords and gasped. She hastily drew back in retreat. The man in front of her had supervoid cultivation, and he had several types of powerful abilities that she alone honestly could not easily handle. Han Bing, I will come help you. At this time, with the Tai spherical heaven form array already dispelled, Ling Feishue promptly emerged from the star nest, hefting her enormous cannons. Do not obstruct, Master. A silhouette attacked. Skillful star Yen Yizhen's fist surged, booming over. Su Xing knowingly smiled, and his gaze then just happened to catch sight of Wu Xiao. The harm star sensed Su Xing's caring gaze, and her heart grew warm. However, Wu Xiao currently was completely out of strength to continue fighting. Young Master, be careful. Li Xiangfei and Fan Ming emerged. Hey, how about you let us Zhang sisters lecture you? Zhang Feiyu and Zhang Yuqi similarly took action. Dark rank techniques instantly activated. Su Xingxiang's heart sighed, for she had no choice but to join the group of combatants. After fighting several dozen bouts, the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon, Su Xingxiang, and Han Bing were no match at all. Regardless of star general or cultivation, they held no advantages. Every type of magic weapon flew about in the sky, and she even activated the dual mode's ruler again. The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon's side was retreating little by little. We need to fall back for now, regroup with Taisui and the others. The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon urgently said. Han Bing nodded. She waved her hands to fill the sky with a blizzard to repel Su Xing. Regroup? I'm very sorry, but I'm not that kind. Su Xing disdainfully said. Hearing his words, the Holy Lord of Draconic did not understand. But immediately he realized what Su Xing was saying. The three of them were just about to retreat when all of a sudden at this moment, the Crystal Dragon Palace severely jolted. Immediately afterwards, a shrill scream pierced their eardrums. Looking in the direction, even Han Bing's face was unsightly to the extreme. Shurjiao Ying's enormous 1,000-year demon tree body had been frozen. Immediately afterwards, a cold light slashed. Split into two pieces, Shurjiao Ying still did not dare believe what had just happened in front of him. A 1,000-year-old demon tree was not so tough. A woman in a purple skirt smiled gorgeously, writing. The Lin Yingmei who had frozen and cut down Shurjiao Ying coldly glanced at this demon tree before the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon could process the fact before him. Another howl of extreme anguish roared through the palace. Xiang Qinxing's true body scorched earth giant beast collapsed with a thud. A Qilin golden lance had pierced through the armor he was so proud of, directly penetrating his heart, making this surly demonkin die very cleanly. 3. The young girl holding the lance slightly smiled at everyone. Strength star Jade Qilin Lu Xiao, in attendance. When Su Xing broke the Tai spherical heaven form array, Lin Yingmei and Zhao Hanyan had already rushed into the palace. Because Su Xing acted with such power and boldness, he attracted everyone's gazes onto himself, and the two girls were completely unnoticed. The Shurjiao Ying who had manifested his true body was insufferably arrogant. His tree body shook, and his earth spikes sprouted like spring shoots after a rain. These earth spikes contained super void magic energy. Each spike was completely full of malevolent killing intent, following Shurjiao Ying's usage of his abilities. Countless earth spikes surrounded Chai Ling. These spikes constricted the noble star like pythons. Only with the purple star magic weapon the likes of the moon-seizing star protecting her was Chai Ling not so easily shredded apart. The star beast Shinger sitting in her bosom continuously fired, throw money away recklessly. Gold instantly pulverized the earth spikes, but in the next instant, another earth spike would grow to take its place. Gradually, this formed an endless sea that reached the heavens. This was Shurjiao Ying's strongest ability, unstoppable. When he saw that the legendary noble star had joined the star duels, how could Shurjiao Ying let go of this opportunity? He thought to himself to kill the noble star and obtain her death avoiding iron certificate. After he ascended Maiden Mountain, he would inevitably vie arrogantly for supremacy. When he thought of this, Shurjiao Ying became fervent, his expression twisted in ruthlessness. The Azure Dragon execution was also used at its utmost to kill Chai Ling. Their eyes full of worry and wanting to intervene, Jinji and Yu Ye could not wait any longer. Suddenly at this moment, 72 fairies suddenly descended into the sea of trees. These fairies had skin that was whiter than snow, and they each held a sword as transparent as jade in their hands. The sword tips were clear, dancing one after another. In the blink of an eye, they surprisingly uprooted Shurjiao Ying's ability. Shurjiao Ying was stunned. What a demon tree, this princess actually wants a look? A woman in a purple dress appeared and smiled. Zhao Hanyan struck a hand seal. The 72 outer void flying immortals' swords psychic fairies waved their nimble swords, sweeping aside the attacking earth spikes. Zhao Hanyan's supervoid cultivation naturally did not lose out to Shurjiao Ying, and her flying swords were already nearly at the true spirit realm. They were far more powerful than those magic weapons, changing the situation in nearly an instant. Shurjiao Ying was enraged. 7 buds of fire emerged from his tree body, twisting and distorting. In a flash, they were as large as a bowl. The 7 buds bloomed like eerie flowers, and then they separated from his trunk and limbs, forming a battle formation. They simultaneously released broad pillars of fire, surged and split into tens of thousands more, just like fireworks. They appeared all over the place at the same time, interweaving into an inescapable net of fire. Zhao Hanyan pointed and activated golden immortal points. 2. This cultivation method was a special skill of the true immortal hall. Divine intent is gathered into a finger, and the divine intent is transformed into a substantive weapon. Whether it be a flying sword, magic weapon, or some other ability, they would all receive refinements. However, only a supervoid cultivator could possibly wield the might of golden immortal points. Otherwise, when encountering a foe with strong divine intent, there would contrarily be great recoil. Shurjiao Ying had been fighting for a long time, so his cultivation and energy were naturally greatly spent. The approaching cage of fire suddenly met with an incorporeal resistance. Its vigor instantly weakened, and then the flames swirled in an eddy, immediately extinguishing in midair. The 72 outer void flying immortals' swords seized the chance to attack. Shurjiao Ying shouted, "Shurjiao Ying, I will help you." At this point, the Tai spherical heaven form array had broken, and the wealth star striking hawk Li Qingxiao in the star nest immediately appeared to protect her master. Li Qingxiao's figure flew, swooping down. Her flying daggers appeared, and the golden eagle dragon devouring steel spear very closely stabbed forth. The spear light swept the 72 flying swords to pieces. Zhao Hanyan was stunned. To be able to break her psychic communication flying swords easily indicated that her opponent's martial force and star weapon were both exceptional. Golden Eagle Dragon Devouring Spear, Wealth Star Striking Hawk Liang. Zhao Hanyan was forced into a swift retreat by the hidden weapons. She did not have innate skills like Su Xing's, so she did not dare contest a martial force heavenly star. Kill her! Shi Jiao ordered. Li Qingqiao practically did not even think. She held her spear in one hand and produced countless doppelgangers of her spear. Their power crashed down, and she used her dark technique Bright Mind Dragon Carving. The spear tips strangely maneuvered to attack Zhao Hanyan. Kill Chai Jin first. Shijiu Ying issued more orders. His heart only wanted the iron certificate that averted death. Li Qingxiao's speed was extremely fast. Her innate skill hovering combat allowed her attacks to be even more fierce. Her star beast Golden Eagle also swooped out to assault Zhao Hanyan, and the girl herself was like a giant hawk. Her arms spread open as she attacked Chai Ling. A resolute figure then blocked in front of Chai Ling. Female Tiger Gu Tong's expression was calm and full of sternness. Female Tiger was not a misnomer at all. Gu Tong opened her cherry lips, and without making any sound, Li Qingqiao suddenly stiffened, her whole body seemingly frozen. Li Qingqiao showed an astonished expression. Immediately, her brewing aggression completely vanished into thin air. The Yin star's earth rank. A wordless loud sound, a shapeless great semblance. 3, damn it. Shi Jiao cursed in anger. A cold shout dropped from the sky. This is bad. Shi Jiao hastily shook his tree body, but the newcomer was extremely fast. Killing intent that was cold to the bone was basically unstoppable. Before Shi Jiao could see clearly, he suddenly felt an ice-cold feeling sweep over his body. Afterwards, every greedy idea, every thought of cruelty completely vanished into thin air. The 1,000-year-old demon tree immediately withered. Master! Li Qingqiao vomited blood, staring blankly at Shi Jiao split in two by a spear. In spite of the pain from her fallen contractor, the enraged Li Qingqiao wanted revenge. However, Zhao Hanyan's flying swords immediately twisted, grinding her fury to death. A crimson star fell. A 1,000-year demon tree was not so tough? Zhao Hanyan smiled. Mei, you finally came. Chai Ling patted her chest. Seeing that Chai Ling had used the red ink iron certificate, Lin Mei slightly wrinkled her brow. Be careful. She then turned to glance at Gu Tong, and without stopping, mounted Crying Frost to rush to where Su Xing was. She does not even want the spoils of war. Zhao Hanyan looked at the magic weapons Shi Jiao left behind and the star weapon of wealth star Li Qingqiao. It is a pity that little sister wealth star Li Ying chose the wrong master. Chai Ling looked at that star weapon and slightly sighed. Meanwhile, Lu Xiao also waited until the array broke to mount her star beast and rush down. To be clear, this was a coincidence. Originally, Lu Xiao up until now had been refining the 1,000-year tears to increase her own star energy. She did not expect that such a big chance was occurring in the Crystal Dragon Palace. When she had rushed over, she bumped into Su Xing. She originally wanted to help Su Xing, however, when she saw that he had seized a complete advantage, Jade Qilin then placed her thoughts onto the other dangerous sisters. It was then that she felt that as a big sister, she honestly was a bit of a failure, to unexpectedly not care for her sisters first and instead feel concern for the Star Duel's greatest enemy. She laughed to herself, and then she heard a wail of grief. Lu Xiao rushed over without thinking. The scene in front of her was of an enormous rhinoceros beast rampaging tyrannically. Two girls were currently bitterly persevering. Originally, they were both star masters Lu Xiao did not care for, but seeing that one of the girls was in a bit of distress, the strength star was moved to compassion. She raised her golden Qilin lance and attacked. Xiang Qinxing was about to kill Sikong Chuhe in one blow. Su Yixiao at this time had already exhausted all of her magic weapons and powers. She was at the end of her rope. Suddenly, Xiang Qinxing sensed danger. He raised his head to see a woman thrusting a lance at him. Xiang Qinsheng roared without a trace of fear. Even normal star weapons could not pierce through his scorched earth armor. Cultivators could only court death, but Xiang Qinsheng immediately paid a heavy price for this. Lu Zhao's martial arts were another level of excellence, practically spotting Xiang Qinsheng's weak point the instant she attacked. The golden Qilin lance directly thrust in. Xiang Qinsheng, who originally believed that he could break the weapon, suddenly changed. He used his cultivation to try and stop it, but the weapon of the Star General, who was number 1 in martial force, had no return logic once unleashed. Lu Zhao's fingers gripped tighter, and the golden Qilin lance forcefully pierced through this demon beast. Xiang Qinsheng's full-power magic energy finally eliminated the rays of golden light that wrapped the weapon. When he saw the identity of that divine weapon, even the stiff-as-iron Xiang Qinsheng cried out in shock. Golden Qilin lance, strength. Strength Star Jade Qilin Lu Xiao, in attendance? Lu Xiao slightly smiled and helped Xiang Qinsheng finish his last words. His sturdy body collapsed like a small hill. With her star nest destroyed, the Star General in the nest manifested. Zhou Jun raised her flowing water-green depths spear and wildly lunged at Lu Xiao, her layered pupils frightening. However, before she could use her earth rank, Lu Xiao gently shook her head. She struck apart her weapon and easily ended her pain. How can this sort of thing happen? The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon was scared speechless. Not only him, but the millions of cultivators in the Crystal Dragon Palace were shaken and utterly speechless. The Azure Dragon cultivators, who were originally on the verge of crisis, unexpectedly showed rapid changes after the Purple Thunder monster appeared. After the powerful Tai spherical heaven form array was broken, the Liao Emperor fled. Then, Han Bing and the Holy Lord of Draconic Demons team was repelled. At the same time, the insufferably arrogant White Tiger 7 Spirit Stars surprisingly had 2 of their Star Masters starfall in quick succession. Although they had thought that the Purple Thunder monster was possibly the Azure Dragon Territory's number 1 cultivator, to face the teamwork of the 3 territories' Star Masters perhaps did not have any good consequences for him. No one could have imagined this situation. Was that the 5 dragons colored glass lantern just now? What a formidable magic weapon, to unexpectedly break the Liao Emperor's array. The Strength Star seems to have also followed him here. How is this possible? This simple is unprecedented. Countless cultivators cried out in shock everywhere. Their arms and legs felt ice cold. Compared to the Liao Emperor, the White Tiger 7 Spirit Stars star duels, the most high path's betrayal, they still had time to feel shocked about this matter. These cultivators gazed at Su Xing, full of every kind of complex feeling. Envy, reverence, fear, adoration, even modesty. Strength Star, Han Bing's eyes were ice cold. If a group of these people united, she did not dare continue fighting. How could Su Xing let them go, especially a bastard like the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon who relied on the Devil Star Palace? Today he must die. Langya's evil suppressing clear light glowed bright. As if he had touched fire, the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon could only shrink back with a sorry figure. If it was not for Su Xingxiang's heaven-departing spirit distribution banner, he would be undoubtedly dead. Although Su Xingxiang would feel no regret if the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon died, at this time, she still felt that the Purple Thunder monster was the greatest enemy. At this time, she also saw majestic Star Lin Yingmei on the attack towards them. She hastily called out, "Lord Husband, we must leave quickly." "And to where?" Lin Yingmei shouted. The star weapon in her hand drew an ice-cold arc. The 5-star Arctic Star Serpent Spear practically left Han Bing and the other 2 staring blankly. "Han Bing, I will protect you," Ling Feishua shouted. The Silent Destruction Star Meteor Cannon belched out scorching fire dragons. "Watch this earth technique." Heaven-shaking earth-splitting gathering triple cannon. Boom! An enormous rumble shook the entire place. Heaven-shaking earth-splitting gathering triple cannon. The concentrated cannon fire frantically roared towards Lin Yingmei. The first wave rolled like a tidal wave, immediately consuming Lin Yingmei in cannon fire. In that instant, the engulfing cannon fire once again burst with an ear-splitting explosion, as if a mountain had risen from the ground, seemingly disintegrating Linning. The cannon fire that rose into the sky became a third wave of 10,000 dragons. Immediately afterwards, they descended without mercy, like the spectacular sight of the sky falling. Even a supervoid cultivator like Su Xing was jolted back by the leftover power of the cannon fire. The 3 waves of cannon fire represented the 3 levels of man, earth, and heaven. This was the triple cannon of heaven-shaking thunder Ling Feishue. After the cannon fire, the place that Lin Yingmei stood at was already like purgatory, a miserable sight to behold. Every kind of gorgeous precious stone was blown to slag. Even a supercluster cultivator would fear this type of powerful attack. Even he himself would have been smithereens. This was the power of those legendary Maiden Mountain Star generals. Although Ling Feishue's Earth rank was tyrannical, to instantly dispatch Maiden Mountain's top-notch Martial General Majestic Star Panther head was nevertheless impossible. An ice-cold figure rushed straight out of the sea of fire. An ice-cold spear tip condensed the surrounding air into frost. The drifting embers became snowflakes, and the scorching hot temperatures suddenly fell to below 0. The Arctic Star Serpent Spear released a dazzling cold and elegant light. Lin Yingmei's dark rank. Freezing frost of 9 provinces. The Ling Feishue who had used her Earth rank had no strength at all to counter this. Her Star Master Han Bing at this time was completely unable to compensate and could only stare helplessly as that ray of cold light brushed over Ling Feishue's astonished and unreconciled face. What a splendid Lin Chong! After she said this, Ling Feishue already fell into the star nest. Although she used a 5-star destined weapon to block Ling Feishue's Earth rank, Lin Yingmei still sustained significant injury. She wanted to pursue in a burst of energy, but Su Xing stopped her and made Ensuwen heal her. Su Xing dismissed her thoughts of pursuit not because he wanted to let these demonkin Star Masters go. Although Ling Feishue's Earth rank successfully suppressed Su Xing's pursuit, they had nevertheless overlooked one other person. Little E and Su Xing's minds had tacit coordination, and she had already brought out the 3 arrows lethal crossbow. Concentrating all of her star energy into the arrows, her star crest glowed. 3 rays of scarlet light then whooshed as they were suddenly fired. Who in the world could avoid the 3 arrows containing all of the skillful star's power? The crossbow bolt sunk directly into Han Bing's chest. The woman cried out. Her white clothes immediately blossomed with a bright red blood stain. The bolt's penetrating power nearly forced Han Bing into her true body. Compared to her, Su Xingxiang was not so miserable. Su Xingxiang's star general was a young girl with long, perfectly straight black hair. She wore old-fashioned black leather armor that offset her fiery curves. Underneath the armor was white silk thin as a cicada's wing, contrasting with the girl's skin that was white as snow. The bolt punched into the girl's body. Even so, the girl's face showed no suffering at all. Compared to her, the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon was somewhat unfortunate. Li Xiangfei and Fan Ming were isolated from him. Fortunately, the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon had the Heavenly Demon armor and had cultivated the Devil Star Palace's 8 Desolations devil body to strengthen his physical body. Little Yi's arrow was stopped by the 8 Desolations Heavenly Devil body after piercing through the Heavenly Demon armor. It finally came to a rest close to his heart. The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon howled in pain. Damn all of you! Correct Star Demon King of Chaos Fan Ming's tone was serious. Before she could lash out with her anger, the normally extremely calm and noble Li Xiangfei nevertheless was also infuriated by their situation of consecutive defeats each time they encountered Su Xing. Li Xiangfei's eyes were enraged, brandishing her white night dragon carving sword without a word. White light flashed. It blinded Zhang Yuqi and Zhang Feiyu. Because Zhu Sha had broken a corner of the territory, the East Sea was pouring in. It was already beginning to flood the Crystal Dragon Palace. The water level was not high yet, unusable to White Stripe in the waves and the boatmen, but as far as Maiden Mountain's #1 water general River Dragon was concerned, she was not to be underestimated. In the instant that Li Xiangfei raised her sword, the Crystal Dragon Palace's sea water inconceivably evaporated in that instant. It all gathered into an enormous water pillar that Li Xiangfei formed. This action, this breathing, this release, they were all quick beyond limits. How could anyone react? In the blink of an eye, Li Xiangfei's earth rank technique was complete, infuriated Azure Sea. If it was any other top-notch martial general against the top-notch water generals infuriated Azure Sea, they would be very misfortunate. Fortunately, the Zhang sisters were also water generals. Mid-technique, they had already sensed it. Although they were able to react in time, they were still seriously hurt instantly by Li Xiangfei and lost their capability to continue battle. Die. Fan Ming and Li Xiangfei were contracted to the same contractor. They acted with tacit coordination. After Li Xiangfei incapacitated the Zhang sisters, Demon King of Chaos was already clawing at them, using her earth rank without the slightest hesitation, Soul Flying Sword Dispersal. Zhang Yuqi and Zhang Feiyu could only wait for death. The two were perfectly coordinated as expected of the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon, currently the Black Turtle Territory's #1 Star Master, but it was a pity that they had ran into the abnormality that was Su Xing. Just when Fan Ming thought she could kill the two Zhang sisters, a blood shadow rushed over. Because they traded blows in an instant, Su Xing could only once again use the chaotic tail escape, the escape technique that was defiant of the natural order, to be able to make it in time. His hands clasped together, opening the meditative mind lotus flower. Fan Ming sneered as if she was saying, "You came at the perfect time." Although the name of the Demon King of Chaos earth rank technique did not have an air of destructive intimidation, Soul Flying Sword Dispersal's dispersal name was brandished. The blade tips of the soul fragmenting claws separated. According to the enemy before her, they would automatically divide into countless strands of killing intent. In the blink of an eye, they not only disintegrated Su Xing's lotus flower completely, many more still pounced towards Zhang Yuqi without stop. Return to the star nest. Su Xing snapped his fingers. The earth element, Heavenly Abyss, appeared, yet this earthly star's earth rank was terrifying to the extreme, making Su Xing feel pain from his life-cast link. The powerful earth element flying swords merely lasted a half-second before being pierced by the dispersing killing intent. However, it was precisely this half-second that allowed Zhang Yuqi and Zhang Feiyu to return to the star nest. How can this be? Fan Ming was shocked. Only if a star general self-star released could they possibly return to their contractor's star nest this quickly. But how could Demon King of Chaos have known that Zhang Yuqi had ingested Rat Star Tong Tong's dark rank wine yearning day and night that was capable of instantaneous return to the star nest? Damned man. To not kill the Zhang sisters under a situation of completely assured success drove Fan Ming insane. The girl looked at Su Xing, her eyes full of fury. It was this man who once again meddled with her. Just who are you? Fan Ming shouted. At the same time, she spread her arms, and her soul-fragmenting claws surrounded Su Xing. "Mingge, you must not." The Li Xiangfei who had just used her earth rank saw that Fan Ming had lost all reason, hurriedly shouting to call her back. Li Xiangfei had a sort of inauspicious premonition. This man was extremely dangerous. As expected, just when Fan Ming pounced, Su Xing evaded with light smoke dance steps, making Fan Ming land on nothing. His fingers snapped, and instant frost flame formed. The frost flame instantly froze Fan Ming. Su Xing then summoned the metal element, Heaven Tearing. The Heaven Tearing metal swords pressed against Fan Ming's neck. The young girl stared at the man in front of her with an expression of disbelief. Fan Ming was sent flying by this slash. Similarly heavily injured, Lin Yingmei could easily kill her. Lin Yingmei wrinkled her brow, yet she did not do so. She raised the Arctic Star Serpent Spear and moved to attack Han Bing and Su Xingxiang. Su Xingxiang knew that today was unexpected failure. When she saw that a corner of the heaven-connecting ocean-settling barrier had broke, Su Xingxiang instantly activated the Outlaw Liangshan pendant, coquettishly smiling. "Purple Thunder Monster, lowly servant will experience you another day. At that time, your distinguished self must take pity on lowly servant for her feebleness." Han Bing coldly grunted. Having been struck by the lethal crossbow and lost Ling Xuefei, She was also made a prompt decision to leave the Crystal Dragon Palace. The last one left, the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon's face changed. Holy Lord of Draconic Demon, let's chat. Su Xing said, Langya, spinning around. Their sword tips glowed with clear light, concentrating into a green rainbow that flew to take the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon's head. Fan Ming jumped to block, but a chain wrapped around her arms and legs. Wu Xinjie smiled sweetly. Little sister, apologies. The Knowledge Star did not have any burdens of compassion or justice. The 8-gate black gold chain killed Fan Ming. Just as the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon was about to meet an unfortunate end, several dozen flying swords descended from the heavens and held back Langya. The moment they made contact, Su Xing was stunned. The heavenly cycle-changing holy swords? Su Xing hastily recalled Langya. The 36 flying swords assumed a formation. At the same time, several figures already appeared in front of him. Senior Protector. The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon breathed a sigh of relief. Those heavenly cycle-changing holy swords seemed to have been used by this person. Seniors, you interfere with a star duel. Do you not fear implicating the Devil Star Palace? Wu Xinjie mockingly laughed. Corpse, Devil Ruthlessness and the other 3 law protectors looked at each other. To leave the palace today, absolutely nothing could happen to the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon, otherwise they would have no good explanations. However, the one who intervened just now was Fiend Star. If Chao Gai truly pursued the matter, they could quibble no longer. Thinking quickly, Elder Dried Bone of the Devil Star Palace Law Protectors smiled kindly. Purple Thunder Monster, your current battle formation is vast, unexpectedly making those top-notch Star Generals completely follow you. Even Strength Star Jade Qilin is accompanying you. Perhaps even Chao Gai is not your foe. Why make things difficult for others? His words clearly were meant for Chao Gai, who was standing idly by and watching, secretly mocking Maiden Mountain as incompetent. If the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon withdraws from the star duels, I will not pursue him. Su Xing shrugged, matter-of-factly saying. These words made the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon unable to restrain his anger. Little brat, do not be too arrogant. You have broken the rules of the star duels. Perhaps even Maiden Mountain will not protect you. Do you honestly believe that you can face the 4 of us with your injured star generals? True Lord Heavenly Commandment disdainfully said. The Devil Star Palace's 4 great law protectors were mighty supervoid cultivators. To be surprisingly shaken by a single Star Master was honestly humiliating. That being said, they were slightly afraid of the Purple Thunder Monster's reputation. Each of them drew on chi from their dantian, using their abilities as they secretly waited to take action. Law protectors, let us seize the opportunity right now while Wu Song and the others are heavily injured and kill him. The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon enviously said. Elder Dried Bone coldly glanced at him. To be frank, he very much did not want to participate in matters of the star duels at all. Even if Maiden Mountain did not investigate him, this Purple Thunder Monster's numerous abnormal star generals were intolerable. During that moment he hesitated, there was a sudden change. The quiet Fiend Star let out a bone-chilling sneer. He pointed his hand. The heavenly cycle-changing holy swords assumed a star-breaking ancient sword array. The precarious situation immediately collapsed. Elder Dried Bone cursed under his breath, his expression becoming extremely unsightly. Li Jun, quickly take him away. The old man spat out a turbid breath. Li Xiangfei grabbed hold of the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon. The woman shouted. The seas suddenly surged like an arrow. Li Xiangfei transformed into a dragon that shot straight out of the Crystal Dragon Palace. 2. And at the same time, the 4 great supervoid cultivators Elder Dried Bone, Corpse Devil Ruthlessness, True Lord Heavenly Commandment, and Fiend Star all took action, which made all of the cultivators feel despair. Across all of Liangshan continent, there was no prior spectacle of 4 great supervoid cultivators taking action against a single Star Master at the same time. Elder Dried Bone and the other 3 supervoid cultivators released their spiritual powers. As if Mount Tai was bearing down, the air within several dozen li froze. All of the cultivators trapped within could only feel stifled, incapable of budging. Let alone that the 4 great supervoid cultivators were somewhat afraid of Su Xing, they nevertheless did not leave any leeway. Although he was somewhat dissatisfied with Fiend's star moving forward, how could Elder Dried Bone and the other 2 law protectors not think of taking down this purple thunder monster who was legendary in 3 of the territories? Besides killing him to obtain his massive star energy that could make them break through to Supervoid Peak in one go, they could even reach Transforming Star of Annihilation stage. Even that 5 dragons colored glass lantern was enough to allow them to aim for the throne of Liangshan continent. Noticing that Su Xing's skillful star, Harm's star and other star generals were either incapable of further battle or were separated, Elder Dried Bones seized the chance to attack. 10,000 Bone Sword Array. 9 True Heavenly Commandments Sword Array. Heavenly Cycle-Changing Holy Sword Array. There was also Corpse Devil Ruthlessness swinging an enormous chunk of iron. Similarly, he used a powerful ability. Giant Sword Unrivaled. More than 1,000 flying swords, all bright, dark, or resplendent, split off into countless rainbow lights that fell over each other during their attack on Su Xing. 4 supervoid cultivators, and 2 of them were middle stages that perhaps even Emperor Liang would be forced to flee from. Even the Kong Ho who was spectating was pondering whether or not she should lend Chai Ling's little lover a helping hand. Everyone felt that that thunder monster had finally met his doom. But upon remembering the purple thunder monster's current prestige, everyone was not so certain. Su Xing was fearless, flipping his wrist. The Empress 2 Earth Book bubbled forth. Chi of yellow dust scattered, and the true Spirit Empress 2 Fairies sleeve flipped. Rolling, dark yellow chi formed a dust cloud that wrapped around Su Xing's group. All of the flying swords thundered, yet there was no visible damage at all. Heaven and earth wither, gods and souls indestructible. Elder Dried Bone raised a black lantern. This lantern clinked, and a tiny flame as black as ink released a foul evil light that swallowed the earth chi. Although this 9 Hells lantern could not compare to the 5 Dragons colored glass lantern, its might was still tyrannical. The core flame inside the lantern received 9 Hells from the underworld Blackfire. Having undergone Elder Dried Bone's continuous refinement, the lantern's light could corrode every sort of magic weapon it shone upon. Coiling Dragon Wall. True Lord Heavenly Commandments similarly activated his strongest magic weapon. A rampart carved in the likeness of a coiling dragon was raised, becoming a giant dragon of clear light that attacked the Earth Book, but the moment of impact made the Earth Book's defenses show cracks. Then, Corpse Devil Ruthlessness ability, Ruthless Bellow. A soul-shredding roar shook the cultivator's internal organs to pieces. Su Xing inwardly thought to himself that this was formidable. Liangshan continent's top-notch supervoid cultivators were fully deserving of their reputation, as expected. The Empress 2 Earth Book was surprisingly unable to resist this attack. The Empress 2 Fairy showed a pained expression, and the dark yellow earth chi was suppressed to an increasingly feeble state. Furthermore, outside the Earth Book were supervoid sword arrays and powerful magic weapons waiting for prey. For the time being, this was surprisingly hard to deal with. Lin Yingmei wrinkled her brow. She raised the Arctic Star Serpent Spear in preparation to attack with Ice Heart Seal's Sun and Moon. These 4 great law protectors of the Devil Star Palace would absolutely perish under the majestic star's Earth rank. Before she could execute, Wu Xinjie held her back. "Little sister, do not go for now." "Xinjie?" Lin Yingmei did not understand. "Just leave these people to Nyangzi." Wu Xinjie slightly smiled. Lin Yingmei was bewildered. Elder Dried Bone and the others were also deeply afraid of the majestic star using her Earth rank. Seeing that she had yet to use it, they urgently boosted their magic energy output. Their powerful supervoid magic energy boomed, affecting the organs of 100 other cultivators. So this is the Spirit Sealing List's Empress 2 Earth Book. It has unexpectedly developed a true spirit. What a formidable magic weapon. It is surprisingly able to block for this long? Elder Dried Bone saw that the Earth Book was powerful, and his heart was somewhat astonished. An insignificant star master surprisingly dares to face 4 enemies alone. You are a mantis obstructing a chariot, you overestimate yourself. True Lord Heavenly Commandment laughed. Destroying your magic weapon True Spirit makes this one a bit regretful. It would be better to give it to this one, and then how about this one lets you go? Spiritual pressure descended. Just as the Empress 2 Earth book was about to be destroyed, Su Xing formed a hand seal, Empress 2, come back. A ray of yellow light flashed by. The Empress 2 Earth book closed, its true spirit vanished, and the billowing Earth Chi faded into thin air without the Earth book. Elder Dried Bone and the other cultivators were waiting for precisely this moment. Then, the 4 great law protectors' magic weapons, powers, and flying swords each attacked Su Xing, bearing powerful energy. Forget you, even Emperor Liang would inevitably die. All of those abilities and magic weapons destroyed. Su Xing. Elder Dried Bones sensed that the purple thunder monster had apparently given up resisting. His heart was delighted. Could it be that the legendary purple thunder monster would die by their hand? This delight was fleeting, for he heard True Lord Heavenly Commandment suddenly shout, "Impossible!" Looking again, Elder Dried Bones' face was immediately ashen. The sword chants dispersed. Su Xing appeared before them completely unharmed, a relaxed grin upon his face, as if he was mocking their attack just now. This is absolutely impossible. Elder Dried Bone was shocked. No one could be this relaxed under the attack of 4 top-notch super void cultivators working together. That is, Fiend Star's tone concentrated. It was only at this moment that Elder Dried Bone noticed that Su Xing was enveloped in golden wind and green light. This beautiful light wrapped around Su Xing like clothing. It was more abnormal than the strongest defensive magic weapon that Elder Dried Bone had seen, the head of Resisting Heaven. But this clearly was not like a magic weapon. In that flowing light, Elder Dried Bone clearly sensed a kind of unprecedented tranquility and love. This is a heaven-earth dark yellow skill. Elder Dried Bone's eyes widened as he shouted in disbelief. How is this possible? True Lord Heavenly Commandment's smile vanished. The heaven-earth dark yellow skills of the star generals of Liangshan Continent's legendary star duels. Any cultivator would inevitably adore and hate such a thing when mentioned. These skills were extremely mysterious and exceptional. Their appearances in records of the star duels were as few as phoenix feathers, but to be able to achieve a heaven-earth dark yellow skill with a star general, which one of those would not be one of the final 7 stars? But a heaven-earth dark yellow skill was extremely difficult. Only when a star general reached a certain realm could one possibly manifest. How could Elder Dried Bone imagine that this outstanding purple thunder monster could contract so many star generals without saying that he was unexpectedly able to comprehend the heaven-earth dark yellow? However, thinking carefully, this was actually quite obvious. But after looking at those beautiful girls behind Su Xing, he did not see any of the star generals in resonance. Killing intent shook behind him. Only then did Elder Dried Bone spot far behind him a wondrous young girl as gorgeous as flowing water currently staring coldly at them. Those golden pupils were luminous and clear. Her hands each gripped beautiful golden and green sabers. Her body was similarly shrouded in a glow that was identical to Su Xing's. The star crest on her forehead made clear her identity. Who was this? Who else could it be? Bright star 10 feet of blue Hunyangzi and her heaven-earth dark yellow. When autumn's golden wind embraces jade dew. The Su Xing under the effects of when autumn's golden wind embraces jade dew could appear to be in a state where he had no match. However, he could not make any other movements. Bright star Hunyangzi raised her double sabers, and only then did when autumn's golden wind embraces jade dew's true killing move begin. Crescent rays of gold and green light crisscrossed, rising up and falling like a torrential downpour. In but a single glint, the great cultivator's sword arrays were disintegrated. What a powerful heaven-earth dark yellow! Elder Dried Bones sucked in a breath. You dare attack my prince consort? You are very bold. Milord, I shall help you. Hey! At the same time, 3 shouts sounded out. Zhao Hanyan, Shiyu, and Gong Kaiwei rushed over in succession. Each of the girls' cultivations had reached super void, powerful and imposing. Elder Dried Bones suddenly somewhat fell apart when he saw this battle formation. What the fuck kind of situation was this? 3 super void cultivators would unexpectedly stand on the purple thunder monster's side. You are helping your future enemy. You will inevitably regret this in the future. Elder Dried Bones sneered. Knowing that they had lost the advantage, any further fighting would result in the Devil Star Palace's 4 great law protectors losing their lives here and now. Without even thinking, Elder Dried Bone used an escape technique to flee. The other cultivators also had the intent to retreat when they saw this. But how could 10 feet of blue let them leave so easily? Hunyangzi snorted. The saber light of the heaven-earth dark yellow first constricted them, and by the time when autumn's golden wind embraces Jade Dew vanished, the girl leapt up high. Like a wisp of smoke, she wonderfully danced. Give up your lives. Hunyangzi instantly attacked. The sabers in her hands slashed out gusts of saber wind. They whooshed swiftly, catching True Lord Heavenly Commandment. Before this super void early-stage cultivator could struggle, an extremely beautiful figure arrived in front of him. Her black hair flowed, beautiful. The True Lord Heavenly Commandment, who had been originally preparing to use his powers to counterattack, suddenly felt his heart stop. He was stunned by the beautiful scene in front of him. The coiling dragon wall he clenched in his hand stiffened. True Lord Heavenly Commandment renounced all resistance, seemingly as wide open as a baby. He merely stared blankly at the beautiful scene in front of him. The corner of Hunyangzi's mouth curled, revealing a breathtaking smile. True Lord Heavenly Commandment suddenly had a sort of ridiculous feeling that even death is worth it. Then, Hunyangzi's other saber directly entered his heart as brilliantly as that golden curve, achieving his wish. To be able to make a super void stage cultivator die so peacefully without resistance, this naturally was Hunyangzi's earth rank technique. This hatred faces wind, this passion leaves moon. 2. When Elder Dried Bones saw that True Lord Heavenly Commandment was surprisingly done in so easily, his heart was even more fearful. Fiend Star and Corpse Devil did not see this, for their escape speed was even faster. Zhao Hanyan and the others wanted to stop them, but how could they obstruct super void middle stage cultivators? Dear husband. Hunyangzi brought True Lord Heavenly Commandment's astral bag to Su Xing, speaking in a tender and sincere whisper. Nicely done, wife. Su Xing smiled and said, let's go see the others first. Su Xing arrived in front of Yan Yizhen. The indifferent maid was still tenacious, but when Su Xing gently patted her, Yan Yizhen then collapsed against his chest. You went through a lot of trouble just now. Su Xing said pitifully to the little E who had used all her power for the 3 arrows lethal crossbow. Slave servant ought to do this. Hearing Su Xing's gentle voice, Yan Yizhen felt even more limp. Her cheeks slightly blushed. Fortunately, against Su Xing's chest, no one else saw. Little E, return to the star nest and rest properly. Leave the rest to us. Wu Xinjie ordered. Slave servant obeys. With a bit of reluctance to leave, Yan Yizhen still entered the star nest without hesitation. Having finally settled the Devil Star Palace's forces, Su Xing breathed out. However, things were far from truly finished. Now was not the time to catch up. Su Xing looked at the other places in the Crystal Dragon Palace and narrowed his eyes. Let's star duel properly with these White Tiger 7 spirit stars. Yuan already wants to. Sure, Yuan rubbed her palms. However, there is something else that we must request of the immortal hero princess. Wu Xinjie said. Gong Kaiwei was still in a daze as she gazed at these star generals at Su Xing's side. Hearing Wu Xinjie's words, she returned to her senses. Her eyes glinted brightly and blinked. Without even waiting to hear what Wu Xinjie was asking, the immortal hero princess already nodded her head in agreement. Clear as water sword light clashed with translucent fire, twisting together with absolutely beautiful light. One side churned like a watery dragon, and the other flapped like the wings of a bird. The dragon and bird battled actually beautifully. Long Nu's water dragon roar wave and Yi Fuda's vermilion bird blackening flame were both used at full power. Their cultivations were about even, both taking an even share of the limelight in their struggle, a sight to behold. And to the side, Xie Chang'an's 8 legions of Naga and Deva protection and Song Feng's demonkin ability, 9 turns astral wind, also battled fiercely. 4 extremely quick silhouettes crisscrossed, leaving bystanders with no room to interfere. Yi Fudu and Song Feng faced the Crystal Dragon Palace's 7th princess Long Nu and man of exceptional gentility and grace. Originally, Yi Fudu and Song Feng had victory in their grasp, but they were showing signs of defeat by the two in front of them. If it was not for the Crystal Dragon Palace's guardians, they would have already lost their lives on the spot, but following the collapse of the Tai spherical heaven form array, everything was shockingly reversed. The earthly star guardian of 3 mountains Huang Mingrui, one of the 4 heavenly kings, raised her sword. Her dark rank sword technique, white waterfall hearing noise, directly swept over, and the also 4 heavenly king Hao Bingxin had wanted to leave the array, but she was forcibly contained in the star nest by Yi Futu. Hao Bingxin was already injured previously when she fought Wu Xiao. Yi Futu knew that she was currently completely incapable of facing her, and Yi Futu did not want to make her face the risk of being killed whatsoever. Although she knew Yi Futu's concern, seeing her own contractor was being suppressed, Hao Bingxin could not stand this. Friends, now that the purple thunder monster is the fisherman who caught both the clam and the snipe, must we continue fighting? Xie Chang'an held a tone of warning, informing them that the purple thunder monster was currently their true enemy. What are you thinking of? Song Feng asked. We team up. Xie Chang'an said. His thinking was not wrong at all. After all, in the future 7 Stars Assembly, the Purple Thunder Monster's extensive star general formation would inevitably defeat them even without fighting. No need for an alliance. Long Nu pursed her lips and pointed a hand seal. The water dragon roar wave became countless waves, and Huang Mingrui seized the chance to put strength to her sword, going after the direct source of their problems. I feel the same. Yi Futu continuously stepped backwards, contrarily smiling at Xie Chang'an. Now that the array has broken, your distinguished self star general still does not emerge? Why not yours? Xie Chang'an smiled. Watch this. Saying this, magnificent star Hao Bingxin finally could endure no longer and forced her way out of the star nest. The silver snow dragon abyss broadsword nimbly swung, and a very heavy strength was suddenly brandished. Huang Mingrui's rapier blocked it, and a water wave sword light surged over. Hao Bingxin used her sword to block it, slashing back with her dark rank. With a bang, the ground was split with a several-meter-wide hole by the giant sword. The powerful force made Huang Mingrui and Long Nu take a step back. Little sister magnificent star. Huang Mingrui's eyes emitted an excited glint. Encountering the earthly star 4 heavenly king made guardian of 3 mountains unable to contain herself. The corner of Xie Chang'an's lips curled. A silhouette similarly charged out of her star nest to directly assault Hao Bingxin. Hao Bingxin waved her sword. Her eyes were suddenly dazzled as 2 whips leapt past her sword tip like vipers, nipping at her shoulders. Hao Bingxin gasped and was pulled over by the 2 whips. That figure of peerless talent also had a pace of ease and dexterity. Her whips shook, biting Hao Bingxin's wrist. The pain made the magnificent star nearly spill tears. The little lowly grit her teeth and counterattack with all her might, but these 2 whips were unrelenting. Under the 2 whips, Hao Bingxin completely lost any room for resistance and was flipped around by the whips. In the end, the whips cracked, sending Hao Bingxin flying away. The entire process was like a white steed speeding by, a mere instant. The dust cleared. A beautiful and naturally poised woman appeared before them. That woman was dressed in a golden brocade and a long skirt with a slit, revealing one of her beautiful snow-white legs. She had jade-green gloves and golden dragon-marked arm covers. Her snow-white shoulders were slightly exposed, an elegant countenance. Her eyes were like black dots, carrying a sort of easygoing feel. Especially those whips in her hands which were produced with incomparable beauty. segment after segment interlocked. Their whole bodies were clear, like a bright moon or falling snow. Wind and moon unmatched, Yi Futu was shaken. Long Nu and Song Feng both showed surprise. Wind and moon unmatched, Maiden Mountain's 5 tigers star general, prestige star double clubs Huyen Zhua. Does your servant still have the qualifications to unite against the purple thunder monster with you? Huyen Shuang smiled. As expected of the 5 tigers general, this not at all guarded attitude brought a sort of enormous hostile pressure. However, wait until after you survive Shuanger's clubs before we discuss an alliance. Huyen Shuang slightly smiled, and her beautiful figure moved. Hao Bingxin had only just wobbled her way back up when she sensed a pressure attack her. Song Feng's star general Xiang Nongmei wanted to go rescue her, but hidden weapons nevertheless forced her back. She could not keep up with Huyen Shuang's speed and could only watch helplessly as Huyen Shuang passed by Hao Bingxin's body. Then the little lowly was like beautiful porcelain, showing a crack. After she toppled over, she fell into the star nest. Yi Futu was in endless pain. Leave now. Song Feng shouted. At this moment, Xie Chang'an was already moving to attack Yi Futu. His magic weapon, 7 apertures finely exquisite banner, was tossed out to trap Yi Futu to death. But Yi Futu was not a nobody. His heart's unswerving determination made him return to his senses in time. He jumped backwards, and his wrist flipped out a beautiful fan with 7 long feathers, 7 feathers fan. The fan moved. It spat out large swathes of flame. The flames became a phoenix that completely surrounded the 7 apertures finely exquisite banner, and the flame's supplest power did not disperse, forcing Xie Chang'an into only being able to retreat. 7 feathers fan? Xie Chang'an was considerably surprised. The 7 feathers fan was a famous magic weapon among the prehistoric spirit treasures. The fan was made from the feathers of 7 fire-type immemorial divine beasts. Its mighty power was incomparable, however, legend said that this spirit treasure had long been lost. It was known that Liangshan continent had passed down a similarly exceptional imitation, the 7 feathers karma fire fan. The 7 feathers fan required the cultivator to expend vast amounts of star energy. Yi Futu did not want to use this at all until the most critical of moments. Huyen Shuang's hands shook. Her 2 clubs suddenly softened, slithering over. Although the 7 feathers fan was powerful, the 4-star destined weapon of the 5 tigers general was even stronger. Wind and moon unmatched drove away the flames, and the whiplight twisted towards Yi Futu's neck. Yi Futu used all of his power. The 7 feathers fan released 3 more different kinds of flames, but this was still unable to stop this powerful wind and moon unmatched. Just as he was about to be beheaded by the whips, at this moment, several hidden weapons struck the whip, dissipating much of its power. Futu, leave now. Song Feng blocked in front of him. Yi Futu did not expect him to surprisingly help him at such a dire moment. He was surprised. He did not dare tarry, and he seized the chance to use the outlaw Liangshan jade pendant to leave the Crystal Dragon Palace. Huyen Shuang was not furious she was unable to kill Yi Futu. She wore a smile, gracefully raising her whips. Anyway it was put, Xiang Nongmei was the flying star 8-armed Neza, an expert in hidden weapons. Her technique was extremely fast, and her star weapon, the 24 star-slashing flying daggers, emerged from behind her, slashing at Huyen Shuang. One hand held the 3-star fire spear, the 9 songs clinging fire, 2, and her other hand held the heavenly King Vajra shield. 3 3-star weapons simultaneously appeared, and 3 dark techniques were cast at the same time. Flying daggers dark rank, vast and endless strikes. 9 songs clinging fire dark rank, windy fire boiling kill. 5 heavenly King Vajra shield dark rank, 100 beast obstruction. 6 the ranked 64th flying star 8-armed Neza's innate skill was handover. She was the only one among Maiden Mountain's star generals that was capable of using 3-star weapon techniques at the same time. Even 9 tattooed dragons' 9-star weapons could not be called forth together simultaneously like this, naturally and unforced. Not only this, but after a dark technique, she could instantly switch to another technique, making her attacks impossible to defend against effectively. This was the formidable aspect of the eight-armed Neza. Huyen Shuang's eyes glinted. Wind and moon unmatched struck down the star-slashing fire daggers one after another and faced the 9 songs clinging fire spear's windy fire-boiling kill with complete calm using her whip. Xiang Nongmei already knew that her 3 dark ranks was a waste of energy against a 5 tigers general. 100 beast obstruction defended in front of her, blocking Huyen Shuang's whip attacks. Huyen Shuang's whip attacks could be long or short, and with Xiang Nongmei's 3-star weapons suppressed, by the time the whips drew near, Huyen Shuang indifferently smiled. The whips danced, using her dark rank firework turning into cold. Xiang Nongmei was defeated. Song Feng never thought that an apparently spoiled young boss like Xie Chang'an would surprisingly be able to contract with the 5 Tiger General double clubs Huyenjua. As he had a newfound respect for Xie Chang'an, he could not help but say, "Your Highness, Song Feng has underestimated you. In the future, we perhaps can honestly ally to face the Purple Thunder Monster." Chang'an agrees. Xie Chang'an smiled and retracted the 7 apertures finely exquisite banner. Song Feng nodded and also used the jade pendant to escape from this place. Regarding Xiang Nongmei being defeated by Huyen Shuang on the surface, he did not care much and even acted friendly with Xie Chang'an. To be this shrewd was frightening, and Xie Chang'an chuckled. When double clubs Huyenjua emerged, Ji Futu and Song Feng were defeated. Long Nu and Huang Mingrui stared cautiously at Xie Chang'an. Ally with the Demonkin? Your Highness Chang'an, you are truly audacious. Long Nu apathetically said. Xie Chang'an laughed and scratched his nose. Elder sister Shuang'e, Mingrui would like a battle. Huang Mingrui raised her waterfall dragon cry sword, giggling. Huyen Shuang smiled. As your servant sees it, this is not the place nor time for a star duel, is that not so? Your Highness. Xie Chang'an was taken aback and grunted. On one side, the Purple Thunder Monster was trying his hardest to save a desperate situation, and on the other, there was the tyrannically strong White Tiger 7 Spirit Star. Neither of the 2 sides were partners that were easy to accommodate. Chang'an wonders what the 7th princess feels about Chang'an's idea just now. With the Purple Thunder Monster so powerful, this is the perfect chance for us to unite with all the Star Masters present and perhaps eradicate him. Long Nu wrinkled her brow and was about to reply. Huyen Shuang nevertheless seized Xie Chang'an's hand and gracefully smiled. Your Highness, did you forget that we still have other matters? With the barrier broken, we should leave. She straddled her star beast snow-treading blackbird and allowed no explanation as she pulled Xie Chang'an on, without giving him a chance to say anything. To Long Nu, this appeared truly domineering, completely unlike the behavior a star general ought to have. If little sister wants to battle, let us discuss after the 3 heavenly books. Huyen Shuang gazed into the distance. Her beautiful eyes mirrored Wu Xiao's cool and elegant disposition. The snow-treading blackbird immediately left Long Nu's field of view. The 3 heavenly books then. Huang Mingrui retracted her rapier. Long Nu, what is the matter? She asked. Let us go meet the White Tiger 7 Spirit Stars. Long Nu said and mounted her riding sword. Upon the snow-treading blackbird. Xie Chang'an was confused. Shuang'e, what has Chang'an forgotten? Huyen Shang showed a crafty smile. The Crystal Dragon Palace's treasures are innumerable. Now that a great disaster is upon us, in this chaos, Your Highness, what are you still waiting for in this supreme banquet? Xie Chang'an was taken aback and immediately understood her idea. Ha, never expected you would do something like this, Shuang'e. Huyen Shuang brushed aside a lock of black hair by her ear and faintly said, So long as Your Highness lives, what harm is there in this idea? That you're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.